Jonathan, I appreciate you coming by, man.
Yes, sir.
We talked about, I don't know, months ago, it feels like now. So, I'm kind of booked out quite a way. So my apologies, but,
oh, that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. I can only fit like, I don't know. I want to say like, I do 2 a week sometimes.
Okay.
I try to stick to 1, but cause 2 are just, it can be exhausting at times, but then it kind of puts me out of ways, what I mean? So I kind of feel bad for guests, but it is what it is, man.
Exactly.
If I could get everybody, a lot sooner, I would.
Right, of course, but it's a consistency thing, and it's like you're going after it. And I know a lot of people like they don't know what to do, but no, when you're pretty straightforward, you're like, hey, this one I can. I was like, great,
right, cool. Right, and that's what I try to be, man. And also too, it's like, I don't know, man. Like I said, I want to do more, but it's just, dude, it's not only do we do this, man. I mean, this, takes some hours as is
for sure.
The prep work prior and, sometimes even a week in advance, but, or like today I let it sneak up on me.
It happens.
And, well, luckily I had some notes on you cause I'll have guests and I'll just make little notes here and there. Like even if it's like a couple of weeks prior or a month prior. So I kind of somewhat ready, I feel like. If not, I'm like, it's just a conversation.
Yeah,
so it doesn't even matter.
Right. Yeah. It's at the end of the day, it's just straight combo, good combo is what I like to call it.
Some people try to do the more interview style, which is cool. No problem on that. I do that and I have notes ready, but I kind of just like most of the time I don't even look at the fucking notes. You know what I mean? Like I just kind of go off.
It's like a facilitator type deal. Like there's always that facilitator, make sure conversation's good.
Right.
Because that same way, like I'm not reading off a script. It's like, oh, I mean, make sure I got these topics now. It's just like, hey, straight combo vibes. Good time. Yeah.
Well, kind of like, you run a business, right? Yeah. So you know how it is dealing with people, sometimes you just got to be quick off the dome, what I mean? And be able to like conversate and, flow and that's kind of how I feel about this, I think I do all right job. I try.
No, you're doing amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll find out today.
Hey, right.
But tell me a little bit about yourself, man. I've seen you've got a lot of stuff going on between real estate and your, what is that, a t-shirt company?
Printing business. But
printing business.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
So you guys don't just do t-shirts, you do a bunch of things. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And so you have that. There was a couple other things I've seen. You might start a podcast here pretty soon.
I'm excited for that one too. Yes. Yeah. A lot going
on. Kind of walk me through some of the things you got going on, man.
Yeah. So my name is Jonathan Pitallo. For those who don't know me, I am a real estate agent here in Kansas City. I've been licensed for about since 23 in March, and then I own a printing business called VIVE Promo Print.
Okay.
I do a lot of community work, as you've probably seen on my stories and whatnot. I like to network. I like to volunteer where I can. And I mean, that's just who I am. I mean, outside of work, it's just volunteer work. So that's
what got you started with was the printing business your first business?
The printing business was my first business. Okay. So I started that in high school as a clothing brand.
Oh, really?
In 2019. So I was I believe sophomore going into junior year. And it was a clothing brand, puffy paint hoodie. So I got puffy paint from Joann's at the time. Got a blank hoodie from Joann's as well. Put my logo or name at the time on it. Went to school, wore it. Kid liked it. How much? I was like, what?
What's a puffy paint hoodie?
Puffy paint hoodie? So literally puffy paint, like I think they use it for like art, really? On canvases.
Okay.
But I decided, I didn't know screen printed existed. I didn't know what it was. So I was like, well, I think this is one way you could put some on it. So I literally took paint, had a little nozzle, and I literally just drew on the hoodie.
Oh, shit.
Literally on the hoodie.
How old were you, dude?
I was 16. 16 at the time. I literally just drew on the hoodie, let it dry with like the air fan.
How'd it come out?
I mean, it was all rough, but it was there. Like if you'd wash it, you'd hope it wouldn't stick to anything. You'd want to wash it on your own, but it would look nice.
Yeah. That's dope, dude.
So that was in high school though.
Yeah.
So.
And then what?
So then from there, it went into, I wore it to school. Kids liked it. It would look different. I mean, it wasn't printed directly. It was literally like raw, right?
Yeah.
And so kids were like, hey, how much? Where do you get that? I was like, dude, it's my brand. I just created it. They're like, well, I want one. And I was like, the hell? I was like,
hell
what?
yeah.
It's like, you want one?
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, I want what you're wearing. You're wearing a Nike tech suit, and I'm over here wearing this because I can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was like, you know what? Sure, I'll make you one. Sold it for $25. Next thing you know, all the other kids were like, well, I want one too. I don't want to be left out.
Mm-hmm.
I was walking out with $300 every other day in high school.
Really?
Yeah,
How long did it take you
day.
to make that hoodie?
It took me maybe about 10 minutes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it wasn't that long, man.
Good
It wasn't
shit.
that
I
long.
thought by hand it was taking you like 5 hours.
Well, at first, yes,
Yeah.
it did take me, but I bought a stencil with like a light pad.
Oh, okay.
So it was like literally a light pad. I would put it in the sleeve of the hoodie because my decoration was on the sleeve and a left chest. So like this on the sleeve. And so I sketched out the words Vive. I put it on this light pad I got from Amazon for like $15. And then I would turn off all the lights in the room and all you could see is the words. So I literally just trace them on there.
Bro, that's dope, dude.
That was really it. At first, yes, it was by hand.
Was
like,
it all troubleshoot or was this like YouTube University?
No, troubleshoot, man.
Really?
No, YouTube University to me was when I wanted to get onto screen printing. But at first, this was all like bam, bam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Because
like
I couldn't
old
afford
school,
it.
dude. Like putting your shit up on a window and tracing it.
There
like
you go.
Back in the day.
There you go. Yeah, same thing.
That's
Hey,
dope.
I should have done something like that. I never thought about it.
Yeah. That's
I would have
dope.
saved myself $15. I would have done it that way.
Yeah, no, it's probably way cooler using that. I know what you're talking about because I think I bought my daughter one of those when she was younger. It almost looks like a piece of glass, doesn't it? And it lights up. Yeah,
there you go.
That's
it's
what I
used for like, let's say
That's
you're
what I bought.
sketching, and you want to put different layers on top of things. That's what it's used for.
Yeah,
yeah. So it's like a huge light pad.
No,
so that's what I started with.
Hell yeah! So that was one of your first hoodies.
Yeah, that was my first hoodie. And it was cool because, like, I mean, I did it for me. It was just like myself. I wanted to fulfill a need of me wearing good clothes because I couldn't afford that.
Right.
I was wearing like the hand-me-downs from older cousins, thrift store clothes, and I rocked it. But at the end of the day, you see that cool kid and he was wearing his Nike tech suit.
Oh, for sure.
He was wearing that nice, Jordan, T-shirt or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So to me, it was like my way of trying to fit in within my school.
I guess back in, what was it, Arte, Dom? What was the clothing that everybody was wearing? I know Hollister,
I was about to say.
Abercrombie.
Yeah.
I was a South Pole guy.
Yeah.
You were
jeans.
Jinko? Yeah.
There you go.
What else was there?
Fat Farm, yeah.
See,
this dude wore an AN1.
Oh, really?
Like forever, dude.
And one.
When'd you stop wearing that shit? High school?
Middle school.
That was only middle school?
Middle school.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. I think I see you rocking one in high school, dog.
Well, that's funny you say that because, see, I was late to the fashion scene because everyone was wearing like these Nike and stuff. I had my older cousins that had the Abercrombie, the Hollister. I said that wrong probably, but they had all that stuff. Yeah. So they would be like, hey, man, this fits you now.
Yeah.
So I'd wear like an old faded 10-year-old Hollister shirt.
Hey, that shit's in now.
No, I know now it is. I mean,
Yeah.
but at the time, everyone was like, that shirt looks probably, I mean, it looked real old,
Yeah,
but I was rocking it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, that was me trying to, like, fit in with these cool groups of like high school students. That's why I did it.
Dude, I walked into an Abercrombie one time. Was Abercrombie the one with the dudes outside? The dudes without shirts and shit? You remember at the mall?
I didn't go to them.
I was about to say.
One time they had it at the mall. I thought they used to have like dudes like hot
really?
dudes and chicks like hanging outside,
Yeah.
I swear they did. And I went in there one time and I tried to put my leg in one of those pairs of jeans.
Shit.
Wouldn't fit, bro.
Yeah, I was about to say.
My leg to hip ratio was not it was not working, bro. I could not fit. So I never wore that shit until I don't even go to Abercrombie. Hollister is where I go. The one out in Legends, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I go to that one now. And I'm like, damn, I'm like 30-something years old. Finally buying shit from Hollister. I was like, man, I should have been doing this shit in high school, dude. I was wearing fucking Dickies and white tees and shit in fucking South Pole, bro.
That's all we could do, right?
Yeah, I mean.
It's crazy to see the fashion trends.
My mom probably would have bought that shit maybe if I would have asked. But, I was a dumbass and was like, nah, I got to have South Pole. Got to have South Pole. My boy Dom's got South Pole on. I want to make sure. I want to make sure we're twinning.
Hey, there you go.
But it was crazy. Man, thinking back then, dude, it was
what
weird.
Year you graduated from high school?
2010.
2010. Okay.
Yeah,
okay, sweet.
15 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
He said, "Damn."
Yeah, it's a long time ago, dude.
Not that long ago. I mean,
Yeah, it's not that long,
You
but
guys
it's
are young
still
still.
long. I don't know. It's not that long, but it is long.
There you go. No, that's how I feel. I mean, I graduated in 21. I mean, it's been 4 years, but
That's a whole nother high school with a
exactly
cycle of
Bingo.
freshman to senior. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So that's when I knew, oh no, I'm already, I'm getting old. But my experience was weird because I was a COVID kid.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
technically
yeah.
my high school in my eyes ended, in 2020 because I had spring break of 2020 in March and we're all excited. We're like, you know what? No more school, extended spring break. Little did I know that was the last time I saw my whole class.
So you never got to walk.
I walked, but in the weirdest way. We all had to be like 6 feet outside.
Yeah.
We had like 3 sections of students. So there was
That's
A,
wild.
B, and C. Some graduated at 3, 6, and like 9.
Yeah.
It was so weird. So I don't remember even saying bye to a lot of these people.
Yeah. I
It
think
was
my
just
brother's was online. I think when he graduated from Rockhurst, I think it was online.
Hell
Yeah.
no.
Something online.
Give me my money back.
Yeah, I know. You're not lying.
I wanna
bro.
walk.
I know. I want, dude. I'm telling you, dude. Years from now, we're gonna look back at that time and we're gonna be like, "What the fuck were we thinking? This shit was weird." Dude.
I mean, you saw everyone wearing weird shit like for masks.
I know,
I mean,
bro. Weird. Or not even that. You remember the arrows in the stores?
Oh,
it's like
yeah,
if
it's
you
like
follow the arrows, you wouldn't have got COVID. If you didn't follow the arrows, you were gonna get COVID.
Right,
It
dude.
didn't make any sense.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
dude. Nothing during that time made sense, bro. But everyone, well, not everybody, but majority of people just followed along, and they were just like, "Man, just leave me alone. I'm just trying to buy this shirt and get the hell out."
No,
So.
to me it was so interesting because I was working at Quick Trip during that time. I remember
really?
everyone was scared they're going to lose their jobs, but for us, Quick Trip sent a
don't never
thing.
close, bro.
Exactly, they're like,
Yeah.
we don't ever close, so we're not doing that. And so my family was like, "How are you going to go about it?" They gave us masks, and I remember seeing people. I mean, you see people a lot coming in and out.
Oh, I bet.
You had people wearing socks as masks, underwear. You had people wearing like lamp heads. Like it was the
Holy
weirdest shit. Like we saw
shit.
everything for a mask.
What?
But where I grew up is where Cass County and Jackson County meet. So I grew up in Belton. So in Belton, no one mandated the mask.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
You would walk in a Walmart in Belton. The business didn't mandate it. It was the county, right? That's usually how it worked.
Yeah.
So you could walk over there without a mask. But the moment you cross just 5 minutes north into Grandview, oh my God, it's holy hell.
Really?
And the reason I say that is because you'd get all the people from Belton and Cass County. They're like, why the hell do I need to wear a mask? And that was the county.
Fighting and shit. Yeah.
So we butt heads with everybody. We had people flip us off. And I didn't want to wear this shit because I'm from Belton too.
Yeah.
I was like, why am I working in Grandview having to wear this crap when if I just go 5 minutes south, I didn't have to do any of that.
Oh, it was nonsense.
It was so weird. Everyone had their own rules.
It was nonsense. And the podcasters were the ones who were demonized and just you're gonna kill someone's grandma. It's like, oh God, guys, let's fight. Like, don't get me wrong, when it first happened, bro, I was scared.
No,
just like everybody. I was like, what the fuck? Deadly virus going around, holy shit.
Yeah.
But then once you start listening to like alternative media, which I guess is what they call it, I look at it as more mainstream to me now. But like, more just independent journalists and cross-referencing big media to their findings. And it's going to be hard at the end of the day because at the end of the day, you have to trust in somebody because nobody's reading any of these fucking studies. Nobody's reading any of these 200-page studies or reports. Like you have to trust in somebody who's got like a good track record. And they're like, man, this dude's been spitting facts. I trust him. He may get some wrong, which is, inevitable. But like, I think we're going to be, I think I'm going to trust him. We're going to be all right on that. And that's kind of what I did, like with Rogan and a couple of the other guys. It's like, man, I'm going to listen to these guys because these guys are making the most sense. Nobody else is detailing this whole situation. It's all weird 5-minute segments. And they're just like, do it. Don't ask, just do it.
Yeah.
And so like, I'm like, what? Something's not catching on.
And no, I agree.
Time, bro.
Because I remember my whole family, they were like, get the vaccine.
Oh yeah.
Get the vaccine. And I was me being me, right? I don't know. I was just not that person. I was like, why? Yeah. So I remember everyone was getting it. I was the only one in my family to be like, no.
Oh, say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
I don't know if
me and my whole family. No, we didn't get it.
You guys didn't get it?
I didn't get it. No, neither of my family.
Neither did I.
They pressured me. They were trying to give me a fucking free day of PTO. I'm like, bro, you're going to give me a free day of PTO.
They were giving like free Happy Meal.
Donuts.
Like,
I'm like, bro, donuts, dog? Like, we don't even know. Like, this is experimental, man. Like,
Right.
I don't care how trustworthy you think the science is.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait and see what happens to everybody, and then maybe I get it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have any problems with anybody getting it. That was fine.
Yeah.
I was more upset with the people that were upset with me. It's like, and at the time I had Purple Pill, which, you know, people had heard, you know, the shit that we were talking about on there. So they were kind of taking it wrong. Like, you know, we were kind of being the irresponsible, I guess, people out of the, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that. It was just like, hey, man, I'm going to take my risk. You go do you. You know, if you want to stick that shit in your arm, I ain't got no problem with it. I ain't going to stand outside your house and hold a sign and tell you not to do it.
Exactly,
you know? So I would like the same respect.
Bingo.
That's it.
And that's what I always told people too, because I had my whole family, you got to do it. You're putting this in risk.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, that's not how that works. You go outside and I guess everyone's in risk. I was like, you don't know if they have it or not.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the approach I went with it.
And the problem was too, is that they kept trying to say that it was going to stop you from getting it.
Right.
That you were going to be safe and you were going to, and you weren't going to spread it. And the problem with that is that they were going back and forth on that. No, we didn't say that. Yes, we didn't say that. The beautiful thing about the internet is there's fucking nerds out there that compile all these videos as they drop, and then they drop a compilation of like them saying this shit, and it's
contradicting each other.
Beautiful, dude. It's beautiful. I love it, man, because that's really what we need to be held. Fuck, I'm sure one day someone's gonna do that to me. Maybe. Who fucking knows? I'm sure but at least I would come out and be like, yeah, I fucked up on that. My bad. I did change my mind. Sorry, guys. You know what I mean? And none of them did. None of those other people did.
And that's the problem, because I think people, there's like for whatever reason, no one wants to be wrong.
Yeah.
And like, to me, I'm like, I can admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So just like you just said right now, because like, yeah, we can have an opinion at a certain time. It's like, you know what? Did more research. I don't feel the same way. But most of them didn't want to. Yeah. Even though the facts were coming out, and they were just still holding strong with that, what they meant. And I was like,
Yeah, and a lot of people, I think more people were pressured into doing it, to be honest. Like, I mean, think about it. If you didn't, people may not shop at your business, or you can't hold a job, or, you know what I mean? Like, people were fucked up during those times. I think everyone's cool now. I think everyone knows that it was all kind of bullshit, you know? Not saying the virus was bullshit. It was a literal virus, but the impact it made on, like, you know, society wasn't as much as we thought. I mean, I think it was like a 0.003% chance or something like that, fatality rate or something. It was something very small. Don't quote me on those numbers. But yeah, it was very small. And I think a lot of people now, which I'm always curious of the like family and friends on my Instagram and Facebook, it's like, how do they feel right now? You know what I mean? And I'm not one to like poke or like down people. But like, I remember you guys when you were showing off your Band-Aids and shit, and like making your profile pictures. I'm vaccinated. And it's like, just the virtue signaling that everybody was doing was insane. And, you know, do it if you want, but it was just really fucking corny.
It was just a crazy time, because even with COVID, a lot of business owners came out in that time. So many people that lost their jobs, that had time to do.
Yes, a lot of small business got taken out of business.
Right, that too. The quarantine. I mean, people got, I think the air fryer came out in that time because people were trying to be like healthy or something like that.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I got an air fryer. I didn't know. Don, did you know?
How long to me, air fryer was something new. I feel like everyone was using it during COVID. Maybe it existed, but because people were like trying to stay healthy, eat better.
Well, if it did do something good, it got people, you know, trying to be healthier, getting them more outside, you know, eating
woke up
better.
a lot of people too.
Yeah, because they were like,
comfortable.
Because no matter how much they deny it, the ones that were the most at risk were the old and the obese. You know, and it was like, guys, you got to start taking care of yourself. Or if not, you're going to be subject to these, you know, types, not only chronic diseases, but also these that can literally take you out, man. Yeah. But it was weird though, because I knew some guys, and just because they look skinny doesn't mean they're technically healthy. They might just have a, you know, good metabolism, you know, and you know, whatever. But I remember a couple of guys that got put on the respirator, and I mean, it was just, that's a whole another ordeal, whether or not that was good or not. But it was a confusing times, man. It was weird. I'm glad we're past it, but then a little bit of me and my conspiracy sounds like, when's the next one?
Yeah.
You know,
No, there's always something.
there will be
If you
something.
look at, I mean, I know friends that like read, and I should probably look into this stuff. They read books from like the 1900s, and they say that a lot of the stuff that were
Repeats.
said, exactly,
Yeah.
it repeats. So I'm like, maybe
They talked about that about the book 1984 a lot. I remember when that was going around. I think the next thing is, I would think of war, probably.
Really?
Yeah, I think we're going to end up getting into a war with Iran, unfortunately.
I have no idea. I don't know too much, but I know that it seems like there's always something going on. But I'm just curious when everyone's limit, like that's the limit. Let's just like.
Well, unfortunately, the limit requires use of things that people don't want to do. So it would get very ugly, you know, and, you know, nobody wants that, man. But it's just, I mean, when you look at everything going on right now and kind of the state that we're in, which isn't horrible. I mean, we live a very good life here in America compared to a lot of other countries. So we should feel fortunate.
Exactly.
But we are still dealing with a lot of bullshit within our government, within, you know, just all over the world, all the conflicts that we're in.
Yeah.
And, you know, at some point, the bubble pops. You know, I mean, we've seen it throughout history. And I hope not, but, you know, just how much the stuff that I've seen that's going over there, it just kind of seems inevitable that we're not going to end up going to war again. Yeah. And the Middle East is always, for the past
I was about to say
40 years, has been the literal war zone of America, or of the earth. So
for sure.
It's sad, man. It's sad, dude. All that shit, you know, the whole Palestine, Israel shit going on. Yeah. A lot of people are losing their lives, man. Ugh.
No, it's crazy. I honestly, I've kind of tuned out all that stuff. Usually I try to focus.
It's hard to keep up with all of it too.
I was about to say, that's the other part. You know, one moment it's this, then there's another. It's just like, there's a lot, because there's a lot of media. There's like, who do you listen to? What do you listen to?
That's the good and bad right now. So like, we have the phones, and that's great. And it's opened up my eyes to things around the world that I didn't even know about, or even here locally, because you get it so fast. You know, you can see it on shit. I see a lot of my shit on Instagram, or I use Ground News a lot, which I really like. Or through podcasts, I'll hear something, then I'll go look at it. Right. But like, there's also a bad side to that. And that's like, we know too much, and it could really fuck us up, dude. Because like, that's too much information you're trying to process. And not only that, like, especially like with me, like I tried to know enough about so many different topics, and I'm one to say that I won't, you know, like, I just got into a, to kind of, I'll go back to this topic, but like, we were discussing the stadium relocation downtown.
Oh my God, that's a huge thing.
And I had Patrick Tui on the podcast, who me and him kind of we have similar thoughts on that whole ordeal. Right. Which, you know, my biggest thing is like, I don't want to use taxpayer dollars to fund billionaires to move their stadiums downtown.
Agreed.
Not only will it impact the people down there, I just don't think it's wise to use people who work hard for that money. Right. For people who have money
and make
profit.
Like, they're making money.
Like, am I getting a free jersey or something? Like, am I getting stocks in this or what? But, or at least the county, or the Jackson County residents. Yeah. But I had somebody argue with me, not argue, just message. He messaged me, and he's seen a comment that I put on. I think it was the Kansas City Star. I commented on there, because they're passing now. Well, they're trying to pass.
For both, right?
For the renovations. Yeah. So they're trying to pass that. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, these guys won't stop. So I wrote something on there. I can't remember what it was, but he commented back. I think I was like, send me this. If anybody has any studies justifying that this is a good thing for Kansas City, send them to me, or something like that. I was actually being sarcastic. Right, but he actually
sent you something?
He didn't send me. He doesn't have any that say it's going to be an impact. He just believes it will be, and he actually has a strong case. So I want to hear him out. I actually invited him on the show. He's going to come on. I don't know what date we have planned. I think in June.
That's good.
Good
conversation.
Yeah, because I want to hear the opposition. You know, I'm not going to sit here and just sit in
my out.
I'm not going to sit in my echo chamber. You know. Yeah. But but yeah. So like I invited him on after we had a long like messages, emails. He sent me some of the studies which I did not read. Again, 88 fucking pages of studies. Like, I'm going to be the first one to be like, dog. I told him, I was like, I'm going to drop that in ChatGPT. I'm going to get a summary out of that. And I did.
That's a smart way to do it.
And I did. Yeah. And granted, ChatGPT could be biased as well, but so could I reading it. And so could he reading it. So, and that's kind of where we came up with that conclusion. But I still want to hear his side, and ultimately, I want the audience to pick. Like,
of course,
you guys decide
what their take is on it.
what's right. And even if, like I told him, even if it does bring a positive impact to downtown, I still want to know, what does it do for us?
Right.
Like, yeah, you can tell me, well, we have places to go eat and drink and but
we're just
entertainment.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, but then again, we're just consuming more shit.
Exactly.
So like, and there's still people that are struggling, you know, and struggle is a subjective word, but in their own means, like, you know, they're not living the way that I feel like a person should live off of an income. It basically, I mean, I guess you can compare it to, I think the 90s would have been probably the perfect era. I don't know, I guess that's the word you'd use for it, but like, where like you could actually like still work one job
and be okay,
and like be okay. Like your wife could stay home if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong because I was pretty young in the 90s. I was born in 92. But I feel like 80s, 90s was kind of that like Goldilocks era.
I think it was like,
not for everybody though. I'm not saying everybody,
but I think it's more obtainable
than now.
Yeah, I think it's more obtainable because now I feel like you got to get real creative. I mean, I see it in real estate. I see it in business. Like I know, I mean, I work with a lot of people that are always trying to buy their first home, and they're always like, "Hey, man, here's my situation." And you know, sometimes, I mean, they're young, they're trying to figure it out, but I'm like, "Oh my, like how are you doing it?" And they're hustling 2 jobs, wife's working, and I'm just like, wow. Versus sometimes when I hear other people, you know, they got their one job and it's taking care of everything. But it seems like now, as like even me being young.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what about people your age?
Yeah, like they're struggling because, I mean, everything's expensive, man. I mean, I feel like people are forced to have a roommate sometimes because they can't afford a house or a mortgage.
Or they can't leave their parents. And I don't fucking blame them, dude. And I tell a lot of these younger kids, I'm like, dude, if you don't have to leave, just stay.
Exactly.
Just stay. But it sucks though, man, because, you know, like, you're living with your parents till like your late 20s, and then you're going to start your life like you're already kind of not necessarily behind, because it's not a bad thing. I don't like when people are ashamed of that. It's not like if you're going to live with your parents, bro, there's nothing wrong with that at all, and you shouldn't feel that way. That's what parents should be doing. They should be giving you that home to where, like, if you fail, you have a home to come back to.
But what I tell people, it should be a stepping stone. Because you'll have people that I always tell people,
don't abuse it. Yeah.
Bingo. Yeah. They're just going by. Another Friday went by, another month, versus they should have taken that time to build. Hey, you're maybe just paying a bill.
It's hard with all the distractions.
I was about to say that too. You mentioned it earlier. You were saying about how like there's just so much. I feel like, who do you listen to? You see all these people doing these cool things, and it's like they feel like, and I'm doing what?
Oh yeah.
But that's the thing about social media. I think there needs to be like a balance in media in general.
Yeah.
Like I think you got to take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Because you'll see something, they're like, damn, I'm not doing that. And I felt like that before too. I'm like, that guy's out here and I'm over here like not doing that.
I still deal with it to this day. Okay. I still have to shake it off. I have to go, dude, hey man,
I like that.
Like that's their life. Like but it does, like, it worries me because I have a daughter who's 14, and it scares me that we see so much, and you can't shelter. You could shelter your kids. You can go move out to the forest and fucking go off the grid and shelter your kids if you want. I have no problems with that. And honestly, I wish I could fucking do that.
No.
But like, I am where I am. And honestly, I say that, but I'm a social person. So I like to be in social settings. You know, I do a lot of things that involve like many people around and even this, you know. But I do see the negative impact. Like last night, I was watching one of her videos that popped up. I don't even think it's her, but it's just like on her YouTube. Yeah. And I was like, who is this guy? It was like some black dude named Kaiser or something. He's like a video game guy.
Kai Cenat? Is that the guy?
I don't know, but he has dreads.
Yeah,
black dude.
I think Kai Cenat. Yeah,
okay, that's him.
More than likely has. Yeah.
He was going to see his friend named Ray. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I'm not. I don't follow too much, but I think that's the guy.
It's
that he
like
does a lot
in Taiwan, so he just flies to Taiwan, and he's like hanging out with Ray, and just like they never met. I guess they met, or I guess they met one time on the streets. But I'm like, this is the shit that you're watching,
yeah.
And it is interesting. It's interesting.
But think then, it's that. It's like, but what are you consuming? Because my dad's the same way. I mean, my siblings. I have 9 siblings.
Yeah,
they'll have the TV on watching Mr. Beast.
Right.
And Mr. Beast is very entertaining. I mean, he'll catch me like watching some stuff. But then there's other videos that I'm like, they're just unboxing toys.
Right.
And I'm like, why are we like
straight brain rot?
Yeah, literally. Yeah. It's like, what are we taking from this, you know?
And don't get me wrong, like there's been brain rot even through like TV, like
really.
Think about all the bullshit shows on TV. Jerry Springer back in the day, Maury.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times did I have to see a dude jumping up and down because he wasn't the father? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, bro, that was like when you were fucking sick from school, bro. It was like Maury or Jerry Springer or fucking Judge Judy. But usually I'd turn that shit off by that time. That's Judge Joe Brown too. That was another one. But like, so there's always been kind of trash TV, and it's okay to consume some of it. But when you sit back and you analyze how much you're consuming, that's the key. It's like, is there shit I should be getting done, and is this getting in the way? You know, because like you need to get this stuff done, then you can reward. You know, like you can't just and I've been at fault with it. But you got to check yourself, bro. You got to check it.
There's a balance. It's always because it's like when I go, like I'm 21. I go out to the club sometimes, or I'll go to the bars. Yeah. And you know the funniest thing to me that when you say like you got to get your reward, but you got to take care of this stuff. Yeah. They're like, hey man, what are you doing here? Like all the people that recognize me, they're like, shouldn't you be in a meeting? Oh yeah. Or like they're starting to like not being rude, but they're like, this isn't like your thing. I'm like, dude, I also like to have fun. Maybe I don't post all this, but you know. Well,
because they see you on Instagram, so they see you as the business guy, and like, they probably think that you're fucking sitting there at 3 a.m, which you probably are at some times.
I was sometimes, but
it's like that's not all the time. That's not your whole life.
Exactly.
You know, we discussed this off air. Actually, it's like I want you to be able to come on here and be you, because there's going to be people that appreciate that. Right. You know, you don't always have to put on a mask of like I'm professional. Like you're also a person too, and I think that people connect better to that. Yeah. You know, and
it makes
appreciate
you relatable.
That. At least your people will connect to that. Yes. And that's all that really matters in the end, is like who is going to support you.
Yeah. So. And I agree, because then you'll have the other people too. They'll be like, well, how the adult's going to think of you? They're going to think you're irresponsible. You're not. And I'm like, no, because I'm checking boxes. Yeah. Like I'll say it in the most humble way. Like I'm checking boxes. I think I've earned that.
You're getting your stuff done. That's all that matters. You don't think those adults are out there fucking doing crazy shit?
That's exactly what I say. Mean, they're getting hammered too.
Yeah, they're out there partying, man. I've been to some of those. And it's always funny because it's usually a meeting. But after the meeting, it's like, we have a meeting at 7:00? Like, come on now. You know, I know what happens after that.
There you go. Yeah.
A couple of cocktails and then we're getting a little wild.
But that's when things actually get done, which is crazy. Like, like deals get done there too. So it's like,
I think it's more creative flow too.
For sure.
Like you have a little bit of liquor in you. You know,
yeah, there you go.
A little good,
a
little loose. You know,
I could do that. Sure. You know?
Yeah.
And I always
say some shit you normally wouldn't say.
There you go. Yeah, that's the time.
Might turn into something. You know,
that's the time.
It might not. Right. You might be fired the next day. I don't know. Right? It's a 50-50. Roll it. Go. Yeah.
That's funny though. But I always say that, like, to me, those things are like, you know, there's a balance of everything. Yeah. Brain rot, education, because you'll also reach burnout. Mm-hmm. Like, there's people that are like, no, I won't consume anything. Don't stay me away from those YouTube videos. I'm making sure I'm reading a book every day. And I'm just like, well, like, I read too.
Yeah, they're trying to be David Goggins.
Right. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Run. You know. Yeah. But, like, to me, it's like, it's a balance. Like, you got to work, family, fun. You know, I think it was like the 5 F's. I went to Cabo and they told me this, and that's where I really learned everything. Mm-hmm. It was like faith, family. What was it? Faith, family. I wish I hadn't remembered it.
Friends,
fun, finance, and man, I can't remember it. But long story short, they said it was faith, right? Like you got to believe in something, for sure, whatever it is, right? Family's important because they're not always going to be there. And then they were like, fitness. Yeah, fitness. You got to take care of yourself. If not, how are you going to show up?
Yeah. And you don't have to be a fucking bodybuilder, bro. Like, just fucking make sure you're getting like 3 days in or some shit.
Exactly.
You know? 2 days is better than 0.
Anything. Right. Exactly. Better than none. Right. Yeah. So fitness, and then finance. You got to make sure you got, you know, you're paying your home, you know, whatever you got to pay. Then fun.
Right.
So that's when they told me that, and I heard that same thing from like all these different like successful people. I was like, shit. Like, you got to take care of that. Yeah. So it's a balance. You can't just be all work, all party, all everything. Right?
Yeah, moderation's hard, man. It's hard. A lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I myself, you know,
we all do.
but I think people think they're just going to get into that flow at some point and then it's going to stay. You're not. Like, you're going to have to check yourself constantly.
Yes,
like, you might be in that flow for a month. You might be in that flow for 6 months. You might only be in that flow for a week, you know, and then all of a sudden you see yourself falling out of it. But I think discipline, I know, is the biggest thing for people to work on. Like that's what I always advise is discipline, because you can watch all the motivational videos you want. And trust me, I love motivational videos, but you have to be disciplined in order to implement what they're saying into your life.
Bingo.
But on top of that, I think the second biggest thing would be, I don't know what word I'd use, being self-critical. So like not in a way where you're downing yourself, like
but like keeping yourself in check.
Keeping yourself in check.
Okay.
Yeah, to where you're very in tune with yourself and your body and your mind, and that you can see like, oh, I've been at the club 3 nights straight. Like, I know I'm getting invited, because you know the more you get bigger, the more invites you get. Like, oh, I'm getting bigger.
Yeah.
And I'm getting invited to these places, and I want to hang out with these people, and it's so fun, and I love meeting people, and I'll just tell myself it's networking, blah blah blah, and then I've been guilty, then networking turns into more just partying, you know, and then you got to be able to look at yourself in the mirror on a Monday and go, I've been out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you're like, oh man, like okay, what came out of this? Possibilities, but nothing really. Nothing really. So I need to get back to, you know, and get back to my deal.
And I agree with you on that, because at first, when I first started, and I still do to this day, but mainly with volunteer work, it's kind of shifted. It's like I was attending anything and everything. But then I learned to like start saying no.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
it's hard.
That's great. Cool. I love your vision, but no, I'm a pass right now because I got this to handle.
Yeah.
You know, when, you know, business is calling, or maybe there's something I'm more passionate about, like with high school kids, mentoring those kids, right? So it's saying no to that, even though it's like at first you wanted just a yes, right? Or, hey, come here. So it's all in moderation, and it's hard because I've been guilty of it.
What are you doing with high school kids? You said mentorship?
Yeah, I'll go and so I'll go speak to high schools. So I've done it at Olathe Public Schools, Shawnee Mission Schools. I'm trying to get to Wyandotte County where my business is located. But what I'll do is I'll go and speak about my journey as an entrepreneur.
That's cool.
And ways that they can implement it within their high school, and how to grow their networks within high school and into the career field once they graduate. Okay. My reason why is because I remember being in high school.
Yeah.
There'd be somebody that'd walk in there in a nice suit, and he'd be like, hey, I'm this guy and I do this. And it's like, I remember I'd just be like, all right, bro, I already tuned him out.
It doesn't resonate.
It doesn't. Yeah. So to me, I was like, but anytime we had like a sub that was like relatively 5-6 years apart from you, you just felt like you could connect with that guy.
Right.
He had maybe no track record. He was getting started, but he was showing up and he was young.
Yeah.
So you I mean, I don't know if you ever had that. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So that's where I was like, let me be that guy. So I talked to the schools. I was like, hey, this is my mission. Is there any way I can help you guys and your students?
Yeah.
And then they eventually invited me, had me speak in front of 300 students, you know, classroom settings, everything. And all I'd do is just be like, hey, look, I'm here. I'm also on Instagram. I have TikTok, even though your teachers will say, like, get off that.
Yeah.
There's pros and cons. Everything has a balance. I always go back to that.
Right.
I'm on TikTok. I do this. Follow me. Reach out. I want to help. Because I was in those chairs 3 or 4 years ago.
But is it just like entrepreneurship, or are you also helping them like get into different fields, like career wise?
I think because entrepreneurship was my platform, that's what I speak on. But what I will say is like, it's in anything. Right. Because I think I owe my success, early success, I guess most people would say. But I think it is because I showed up. A lot of people are scared of trying. Imagine if I would have hesitated to make that puffy paint hoodie. Right. Because, oh my God, it's not screen print. It's not embroidered nice. No, I'm scared. You know what? I'm just not going to do it. I don't got the stuff. Versus just simply asking the questions, showing up and doing it. Right. I think that's the principle. And I could show that through entrepreneurship.
Yeah. And the only reason I say that, and I understand that entrepreneurship is your background, but what I get concerned is that the youth being scared to get into like trades and like
that's
normal
important. Good.
work. You know what I mean? Just your regular,
No, I agree.
6 to 2:30, 7 to 3:30 type jobs, because there is no glam. There is no that I don't know that
shows it. Well, I think
what people want. I understand everybody wants to work for themselves. It sounds great, but there's also a lot of fucking shit that goes behind that.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because like I think schools have been adapting. Have you heard? Yes. Okay. Have you heard of real world learning? So it's like where they put you with whatever career field you want to do.
Oh, so we had kind of like that. We had Botech.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a trade school. Yeah.
It's a trades because they still have trades. I know trades have been around, like the connection to it, like firefighter, police,
ours was
welding,
like mechanic,
mechanic,
carpentry and all that shit.
Stuff.
Yeah, like Botech classes.
We had that in Belton, and then we got real world learning, which was like, well, you want to be a doctor? We'll have you shadow a doctor for like 10.
That's really cool.
So it's cool because now it's like everything because there's something for everyone. Right. There's something for everyone. Everyone has their little niche and they learn. And it's funny you said that entrepreneurship stuff, be your own boss or your own owner. I mean, I say that right off the bat to these kids. If I could go back to being your age, I wouldn't have quit my job.
Right.
I quit my job thinking, yeah, I got it. No, that was an uphill battle, incline on like whatever max level because it's hard.
Yeah.
Because I've been self-employed for about 2.5 years now. Yeah. Going on for 3. But I had my car, I had my duplex that I bought. I let all that go to bank on the stream. So what I will always tell people, I'm not advocating for you to quit your job and leave what you're doing. I think what I want to show is there's creative ways to stay in school with your job or whatever you're doing while leaving an exit and planting something for yourself while doing it.
No, and that's good because out of those 300 people, there's going to be probably 20 of them that are it's really going to help them. Yeah. Because unfortunately, man, and this is, I know schools like to tell you you can be whatever you want and blah, blah, blah. And yes, you can, but there's got to be people that work. I mean, the backbone of America, and that's kind of, we're kind of losing that right now of, I say more of like, because we worship so many of these TikTokers and stuff and like these people that make money off of most of the time doing nonsense. But I'm not going to knock on make your money the way you want. Some guy might think it's crazy that I'm speaking to you in my basement and recording it. You know what I mean?
No, but that's what it is.
Yeah. So it's all, I get it. It's all subjective, but I wish that we would more of worship our, trades guys, like our and not even worship. It's kind of a crazy word to use, but just respect, value. Yeah, put value on it instead of you driving past those construction workers that are laying that asphalt, which. I mean, you can only imagine. That fucking sucks. I know I listened to one of your podcasts on the Interrupt KC, and I heard you discuss working for your uncle.
Yeah.
Doing concrete, right?
He had a painting company, but my dad concrete too.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, and I think that's why I tell people value those things because I think those are good trades.
That's hard work, bro. I mean,
a lot of money.
Painting fucking sucks. Nobody likes painting. You can go ask a painter. He don't fucking like it. He just does it because he has to.
He's getting by, right?
That shit sucks. And concrete, bro.
Oh, my God.
Dude, I had one time on one of my projects I was a superintendent on, and I mean, I watched those guys, bro. They're there at fucking 30 minutes before the sun comes up, and they ain't leaving until 30 minutes. It's almost dark by the time they leave, bro. And all their backs are all fucked up from bending over and shit. And it's just it's a rough trade, man. And I feel like more if people were to uplift those guys and like value those guys, and I don't know how you would do that. And I'm not gonna act like I have all the fucking answers, but if we were to idolize that and get the youth into it more too, maybe they'd like it. But then there's also the other side of what are these companies doing that are making them not want to join? Because, a lot of people are wanting to be entrepreneurs or wanting to start their own, they're wanting to start their own business because they don't want to deal with the bullshit with some of these companies. It's like, am I going to go get treated this way by so-and-so and deal with this? Or can I just take the same headaches and apply it towards a business of mine? You know what I mean? And not everywhere is going to be like that. Of course, but you take a gamble. Any place you go and work at, you take a gamble. You might have an asshole boss. You might You might have a boss with unrealistic expectations to where they're thinking you're going to be able to achieve this, and you did with only 2 people. You know what I mean? Like when you need 5. So it's like, why am I going to deal with this? And I think that's what a lot of people are doing. They're going, why am I going to do that when I can just, I've already have a headache with dealing with this place, and I'm already working 60 hours a week just to make enough to get by. Let me just invest it in my own. And maybe I could make more, probably not the first year, whatever, maybe not 2, but I could end up making more. And I have this idea, and I know I'm going to deal with struggles, but at least it'll be my struggles, and not somebody else's.
It all depends what they want, because at the end of the day, I know I have family members. I mean, my whole family's always been in trades, right? Some sort of something, and then they make good money. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you probably know it. I mean, very good money. But the problem is they don't see an exit. And so that's my thing. I mean, I've seen, so many families, they just don't know what to do. There's not enough education. So I think trades are good. After a few years, you make serious money, but there needs to be like a backdoor exit. Like, how are you going to get out of that? Because, if you got in when you're right out of high school, and you got lots of energy, imagine when you're like 50. I mean, it's probably not a lot of energy, right?
Well, and that's another conversation too. That's kind of why like unions are big with a lot of people in the trades, which, I don't blame them. They're the ones really setting their standard for hourly wages, because, you got a lot of these construction companies, man, and run your business the way you want. I'm libertarian, dog, run it the way you want it. Now, I'm not going to, but I will speak my opinion on it. And a lot of these guys, maybe they'd be a little happier, a little better if you paid them a little more. You know what I mean? No, like, while the boss is racking in millions or $500,000, whatever you do, that's great, man. I know you want to buy that Cadillac and shit or whatever the fuck else you want to get, but, big house, but, you got people there and you're dealing with turnover a lot and you're not taking care of them, or you think you're taking care of them, but you're only taking care of them enough to where they have to show up and they really don't have anything to show afterwards, but, other than to pay bills. But I don't know, man. I've had this discussion. I had Michael Reisinger on one time, and we had a long discussion about kind of what society and businesses and stuff could do to kind of increase the morale, and like a lot of these like warehouses, manufacturing plants, or like trades, because like, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's everywhere, but everywhere I've been, just the morale just and all they say is, well, they're just fucking lazy and they don't want to work and blah blah. And it's like, I get that. There are guys like that.
But not all of them.
Man. And it'd probably be best if you took the time to maybe really listen, and probably not even you, because they're going to lie to you because you signed your check. But if you were to somehow have somebody that can infiltrate in, kind of like what you do for the high school kids, it's like, hey, man, they don't want to listen to some old dude in a suit talk about his career for the last 30 years. Probably want to hear somebody that look almost their age and is doing successful for themselves, and that can connect with them, you know, and so these businesses could probably do the same thing, but they're like, oh, that's another $80,000 a year. I don't want to pay that.
It's like 80 in their margins, which are there in the millions.
I'll just deal with the high turnover rate, and I'll just flip and burn. It's like, all right, man.
I agree. And that's one of the things that like I'll even bring up too. Like I always tell people when I go to these chamber events or different things, they're trying to help the kids, but they're already having like a knock on them.
Right.
They're like, no, they're lazy. They're going to dance mid conversation. I'm like, hey, hold up. My brother was there. My brother, he works for me. He's 19 and he's a killer. I mean, he saw me doing all this stuff. He's invests in stocks. He's always been like a bright kid.
That's cool.
I say he's brighter than me, to be honest. But when he was there at that chamber event, he's like, they're knocking all the people our age, saying that we won't show up and stuff. So we literally told the people there, and we work with these people all the time, like, hey, that's not right. You haven't even gave them a chance. You already have this like, nah, they're lazy. Nah, this generation. And we could always get in that generation thing because everyone's like Gen Zs and, millennials.
Every generation has dumbasses, dude. I mean, to say that go back, there was dumbasses in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. But it's always that weird, like, our parents think we're dumber, but their parents probably thought they were dumber. You know what I mean?
It's always
always like
it's like
that.
With sports too. It's like, oh, this era versus this. Who would have won? It's like, no. But.
I mean, I'd have to see some real statistics on that. And I don't know how the hell you'd even gather that.
Right.
The only thing I can think of is they look at the education, America being like, I think the 27th out of the entire world, education wise, when it used to be 1 at one point. But then you'd have to
Really?
compare. Yeah, you'd have to
Wow.
compare criteria and all sorts of stuff. Like, what were they learning then to now, and how effective is what they were learning back then to now? I mean, yeah, I'm not a bright individual, so I don't know, but I'm sure there's people out there that go on YouTube and look up American education debate. I'm sure there's plenty of videos on there where you can hear opposing sides to it. But like you said, like I know a lot of kids that are, like in their early 20s or even late teens, and they're smart, shit. My brother Madden, he's fucking 19 years old, and he's been cutting lawns. Like, when I was a kid, I always wanted to do that shit. And this dude took it to a whole nother level. Bought his own lawnmower, like riding lawnmower and shit.
So
like,
he has a nice
he had a whole neighborhood that he was doing.
Yeah, and they're setting them. No one's telling them to do this. They're like, I want to do this.
Yeah, and a lot of it's probably because they're seeing guys like you online and Instagram and YouTube, and they're like, man, I want to be like that guy. He's got his shit together. What am I doing right now? Which is positive. That's a good thing. It's a good thing for the youth.
I agree, but I always tell people, grain of salt always, because there's people that will they're scared now. Yeah, they don't want to do it. But I always try to uplift those that show up.
Right.
Like I tell people, if you show up, you texted me just like I texted you and reached out, praised your podcast. I was like, you know what? Like, just doing that, I'm willing to help somebody.
Yeah.
Because they're proving that they care, right?
For sure.
So like, for example, your brother, like he's bought his mower.
Yeah.
He put on himself that he wanted to mow X amount of lawns. He chose to do that versus, we all play video games and do different things versus then just shoot the shit.
Yeah, and you have levels, bro. Like, you'll have my brother, he only mainly does one neighborhood, or you have like, my good friend Ralph's son, Adrian, he fucking has a goddamn team. Like God. He's got people working for him and shit. And he's only 19, dude. He's got a big ass. I always make fun of him every time he pulls up in this big ass Dodge 2500 diesel, and I'm like, bro, he parks next to my truck. I'm like, dude, can you park that shit down the street or something? Like, you look like you showed up and like you're gonna go take someone's mom or some shit.
Right,
because he had it in high school, and I'm like, bro, he's driving it to high school. I'm like, dude, you look like an old man, bro. Like, you're not gonna pick up some chick in high school. You're gonna pick up their mom or something.
No, it's crazy because I heard the same story too with like a kid that he's mowing lawns. He's like, oh yeah, it was Olathe South. He's like, I'm mowing Noah Gray's from like the Chiefs. I was like, what?
That's crazy.
He was like, yeah, man. He's like, I'm doing his lawn. I'm like, how the these kids are door knocking. And he just happened to, door knock, a certain house. He's like, yeah. And he's been my client ever since. I'm like, and to me, I'm like, damn, but these kids are doing it. Like, they're there.
Dude, door knocking sucks. I remember when I was doing roofing, I had a door knock, bro. Oh, no. God. That takes a special individual, man.
Oh, for sure.
I had one the other day trying to sell me insect repellent they spray on your house. Okay. This dude was like halfway in my door, bro. I'm like, hey, dog. I'm like, and I always try to be nice because I've been there and I get it, and I always tell people that, like, I think everyone should do like kind of a sales job or a what's it called? Like when you're like a server at a restaurant.
Yeah, like not hospitality, but
it's something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
A service-based
service, a service job where you're working at a fast food or doing a restaurant or something like that, because you appreciate what they go through. And not all of them, some of them are dicks, but like you understand like how to treat people.
Exactly. So
I felt bad, I hurt him out, but at the end of the day, I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. I appreciate it, but he was a good salesman, though. I give it to him. He was really good.
And again, it's the showing up, because I mean, I didn't know you door knocked too, but I did that stuff, but very different. I was going into businesses, door knocking on Minnesota and Central Avenue just to put a flyer. I wasn't trying to sell anything. I was like, hey, like, is your owner here? I'm going to speak to them. And I put a flyer out there saying like, well, if he's not here, here's my services. Do you mind if I put it on your thing? Sure. And that was a hard combo because most of them, I mean, they're busy, they're working.
Right.
And so I was coming at a random time in the day being like, where's your owner?
Yeah.
And so I was doing that when I was that was during that weird, like after COVID, once quarantine went away, it was like June of 2020. And when they were like, oh, you can start going out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Do you remember that, like lockdown?
I don't remember, bro.
There was like a lockdown phase.
Long. My memory sucks. But I remember we were locked down for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I started doing that, and it was just like, you know what? Screw it. What's the worst thing they can say? No. And I just put a flyer. So door knocking does require some skill.
Yeah, I mean, I had a buddy that told me out of every 100 no's, you might get one yes. So, but it's grueling and it's hard, and especially when you show up at the wrong time. I remember I just door knocked during dinner time. I was an idiot. I didn't even think about it. It's like 5, 6 o'clock, and some dude opens the door. I'm having dinner right now. I was like, hey, my bad.
Sorry, yeah.
But one, did he really need to say that? He could just be like, nah, man, I'm not interested. I'm good. And just close the door. You know what I mean? Like, I would have got the hint, but some people just like to.
Yeah, they don't care.
They like to get that jab. Yeah,
of course,
like,
always.
So going back to your business, man.
Yeah.
I know we went off on a long tangent, but it's kind of the name of the game here. But
there you go.
So you said that. So you do a lot of printing stuff. So after high school, you started making these hoodies. When did you start like taking it seriously, like stepping up and like, is this going to be my business? This is going to be what I'm going to do.
It was never like a crystal path, like a little like a roadmap. Mm-hmm. I think it was just one thing at a time. But I knew after I was making $300 every other day in high school, and I got some money, I was like, you know what? I need to do some research.
Yeah.
And I had my uncle at the time, Raul. He told me, he's like, you know what? You need to get someone to print these for you. Do you want to print these? Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, I love to do it. It's handmade. Like, I think people will appreciate that. He goes, no, well, yeah, but you want to scale, right?
Right.
And that was always in the back of my head. Eventually, I sourced for wholesale printers, but I didn't know that existed. So what I did was searched up like printing shops near me. Mm-hmm. I door knocked on them because most of them didn't have a phone for whatever reason. No one didn't have their phone on the website. Really? So I had to drive, knock, and shake their hand and be like, hey, I'm Jonathan. I'm trying to do exactly what you do, but hopefully you give it to me at a discount so I can mark it up. Mm-hmm. I mean, I got the door shut on me, and like basically like they're pissed off. Yeah. They're like, why you? You're just a random guy you're just you. Mm-hmm. You don't have a business. So I got told no several times. When I got that first yes, that's when I knew that I wanted to do that. Keep going. No, you're good. And so that's when I wanted to do that. And so the reason why I wanted to do that was for my own brand stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to sell a better quality of my brand. Well, I lost a lot of money doing that. I printed like 200 of something, thinking I was going to like blow the roof in sales. Once I actually printed them, man, I still have these things in like my garage.
You still got them?
I still got them from.
You better hold on to them. Those things might be vintage or something. You could sell them like limited edition.
That's why I'm holding on to them, because I'm just like, you know what? Yeah. They didn't sell, but it's a reminder of like, sometimes you fail. Mm-hmm. But what I took from that was like, people were like, well, I don't want to buy your stuff, but I have a business. Could you print for me? Mm-hmm. And at first I was saying no and no. But after so many of like those questions, you're like, wait, hold up. Maybe this is what I need to be fucking doing.
Yeah.
And then it went from that to a clothing brand to, you know what? Let me just be the facilitator. And then did some research, and I was like, oh, this is a whole fucking business model.
Yeah.
And then opened up my LLC. Then I just went ham from there.
Really?
Yeah.
And what'd you start out with then?
It was a, what was it? I think it was a roofing company and a concrete company. So it was like construction
and
trades.
You still do that now, right? So that's mainly you're basically doing printing for businesses then.
Yeah. Okay. Businesses, local government. So we've done KCMO, Wyandotte County, Johnson County. We do school districts. I mean, we're getting to that point where we're doing like huge orders. Then we'll do like your startup businesses that need 40 t-shirts and whatnot. Right. But yeah, it's been a crazy journey because I had no idea that was the that was not the goal. If you talk to 18-year-old self of me, or even 16-year-old, and he was just doing the puffy paint, it was never, I want to own a printing businesses and print to schools.
Yeah,
that was not the goal.
Yeah, because your direction was you were going to make your own shit. Exactly. Which is it still off the table? Are you doing some of your own stuff, or is it just in the? I mean,
I got my I wear my shirts and stuff. I put my little logo on it, my palm tree.
Nice.
I've had people that want me to like start selling it again. Yeah. If I were to, it'd be in collaboration with like a nonprofit. All this money back to like something.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd do it just for me.
Huh. What's the palm tree mean?
The palm tree, so the name of the company is VIVE. VIVE in Spanish means to live. Mm-hmm. So when I got the idea, I was in California. And
Nice.
what was out there?
Yeah,
Palm trees.
I love palm trees.
So I already had the name,
Yeah.
but I needed a logo, right? So my uncle was like, "What gives life? If your name is to live, what gives life?" He's Catholic, so we've always had Catholic roots. And one of the things he was like, it's water, it's the sun, the trees. And I was like, that's kind of lame.
Yeah.
But then finally I was in California and it's like, yeah, the fucking trees. I was like, these are badass. This is my first time seeing palm trees.
Yeah.
So then I ran with the palm tree.
Dude, palm trees are nice. Where'd you go to California?
I went to, what was it? Santa Ana, LA, and Lake Elsinore, Southern California.
Dude, I went to LA one time. Fuck, what year was that? I think it was, I don't remember. It was recently. It was like 2-3 years ago. But, dude, LA.
Oh, yeah.
Let me down, though, when I seen it.
Why?
Dude, there was like RVs everywhere.
Oh, yes.
Did you see that shit?
Yeah, so I literally did this. So I was with, I had an ex-girlfriend. We went to go visit her family out there. And I was like, I'm excited to see LA because I've been, in the nicer areas.
Yeah.
But they lived in like a southern area where it was like kind of rundown.
Right.
But I was like, I'm excited so I could get perspective. I literally rode the fucking metro. You saw all them RVs. You had like literally like those dumpster trucks pushing all the tents. And so to me, I was like, I like this LA, but this gave me perspective. But you see a lot of like
the real LA.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see a lot of the struggle. But
it's just like Kansas City, though.
Oh, for sure. We have our areas too.
You've got power and light, but then you've got like, the surrounding areas that are hurting, you know, and like all the, well, watch. Hey, mark my words. When's the World Cup?
2026 next year.
Is it next year?
I think next year, right? Yeah.
2026, around that time, you ain't going to see no homeless people downtown. Watch.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think they're taking? I heard that they do that in certain big cities. They'll fly them to Hawaii.
Yeah. Well,
because they can't come back.
Allegedly, from what Wes Graves said on here, Lucas didn't fly, sent a bunch of them up to North Kansas City and dropped them off there.
Really?
Yeah. We have a lot here in Gladstone now.
I didn't know that.
A lot.
We're starting to see some. So I grew up in Olathe.
Mm-hmm.
When I go visit down there, well, Belton and Olathe. I was my mom and dad at custody, whatever.
Yeah.
But I just started visiting my siblings now that I got a little more time. They live down there.
Yeah.
And back then you wouldn't see anything. You're starting to see a little here and there.
Like, dude, when I grew up here, when I went to high school here, you didn't see really any, bro.
Really?
But I'm like trying to tell myself, because I do this all the time with everything. Gabriel, are you sure you didn't see anything?
Yeah.
Let's think about this. Maybe you actually just weren't paying attention at that time. So I have these battles in my head because I try to be as objective as possible. But I swear, I don't think I seen really any in Gladstone. But it's fucking wild, dude. There's like one time I was headed to the gym at like 9 a.m. During a weekday. And it was like The Walking Dead down Inglewood Road.
Inglewood,
I was like, Jesus Christ. Have you ever seen that, Dom?
No, I'm agreeing with you though. Like when we were in high school, nothing north of the river.
That's what I thought.
Wow.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least I'm hearing it from, but I don't know. Me and you got shitty memories, so I don't know. I feel like yours is pretty decent though. I'll give you that. You're pretty decent. Yeah. Weirdly decent, but yeah. So I don't know, dude.
We might see that.
I'm gonna call it. They're gonna be gone. Just for temporarily, they'll come back.
He said it here first, so
yeah, they'll fucking come back. So that's just me going off of information from what I heard. Wes Graves used to be a city council member for North Kansas City. He was on the show, and he had told me that. So
wow,
and I think there was articles on it. To be honest with you,
crazy.
Yeah, it was at that La Quinta right behind McDonald's. I think it was.
Yeah,
on Armour. You know what I'm talking about right there off the 29 highway?
Oh, yeah.
Where they have all the rail yard and they built the Mariatos is right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's what he said allegedly. So we'll see if it happens.
Exactly. See.
But it'd be kind of cool to see the World Cup here. I just don't like all the World Cups coming, so we got to do all this shit we should have done years ago for the people, but now we're going to do it. Yeah.
They're doing it for tourism. They're like, oh, yeah, we're going to make so much money in tax revenue, blah, blah, blah.
They said Brazil did that shit. Was it Brazil or China did that shit, Dom? Do you know?
For World Cup,
when was the last World Cup at? Where was it at? It was in China, wasn't it? I don't remember.
Not just here.
I need to get you in Jamie mode where you already had that pulled up, bro. Ready to
go. Fact check or something. Yeah.
I feel like the last World Cup was in China, and they had done the same thing. They moved all their homeless people out of that area.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, they're just trying to. I mean, they have eyes on them. They're trying to give their best impression. I mean,
because the world's got eyes on you,
right? And so,
I'm sorry, it was in Qatar. I'm tripping. It was in
Oh
the
yeah,
Middle East.
Qatar. Yeah, they did.
When the fuck did they do it in China? I thought they did it in China. I might be tripping.
Yeah, Qatar.
Dude, actually, you know what? I might be 100% wrong on what I just said right now. I'm gonna admit
Don't
that
quote
right
him,
now.
right?
Yeah. Hey, but somebody help me out and find what I was trying to say and send that shit to me, please.
There you go.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Shit like that's cool. I just hate that this becomes the reason of, like I said, why we've already should have done all that stuff,
Right,
and now we're doing it because of that. But we see it all the time. So, what can you do?
The world we live in.
I know.
It'll be in Atlanta, Boston, Dallas, Houston, Kansas City, LA, Miami, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Seattle, and San Francisco.
Jesus Christ! How long is the World Cup for?
And in Mexico and Canada, so it's a North American.
Dude,
bid.
is is Dallas also on there or no?
Dallas is on there.
So we're the two main points, like Kansas City and Dallas. Like we're technically the central of all that, right?
Mhm.
I think only like maybe 3 countries are playing here.
Wow,
3 or 4.
that's
Really?
insane though, because we're gonna get a lot. I mean, I think we might.
A lot of people here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's still gonna be a lot of people.
yeah, it's gonna be wild.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be cool to see. I mean, I always enjoy like going to the sporting games. I haven't been to too many, but
Yeah,
not in a while. But they're always pretty fun.
yeah. Sporting games are fun. I think soccer. I mean, that's a worldwide sport.
Oh
I mean,
yeah, I played soccer for a long time.
Did you? You
Yeah,
played
I
sports?
played
I
through
didn't
high
know.
school.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, soccer, football, and that's pretty much it, man. And then I do jiu-jitsu now, but that's recently. But all through my adulthood, childhood, it's been soccer in the spring and football in the fall. That's what I played growing up. So.
See, I wish I played sports because I think I always had fear, like, oh, I'm not good. These kids are gonna press me.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna be shit. But now it's like when I see it, I should have just done it. I would have grown.
Yeah.
I would have gotten some things from it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What'd you get from it, Dom? You were on the football team.
See, look, yeah,
People are gonna press you, but you make memories.
yeah. Well,
Make
that's
memories.
what I wish because I was involved in different.
You learn how to
things.
fucking work shit out.
Yeah, no,
Or fight.
Yeah,
One of the two.
Either or.
Yeah,
And see,
either
I wish I
Yeah.
did that earlier though, because I learned it right out. Like once life.
Yeah, but
smacked
you must have
out.
got it somewhere because you're sitting here right now talking with me, and I've never met you, and you feel comfortable. So
Well, I mean, but I think
I know
it
you're
was-
older now,
Right.
But still, though, you could still be socially awkward because you didn't have that interaction.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
like I think as a kid, I was just insecure because I feel like always like, and I'll admit it because like you have all these like that rich white kid, that one cool guy, that cool Latino that like for whatever reason, whatever, like they just got it, and it's just like you're just kind of like the outcast.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like, oh, he's on the football team. That guy's dope.
Mhm.
I got the I could have probably tried out. Maybe I wouldn't have made it, but I should have just done it.
Dom was on the football team, but he was an outcast.
Really? he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah.
Fuck you, dude. Nah, Dom was a popular one.
Hey, there you go.
Probably because he had a beard since he was in fucking 4th grade.
There you go.
Dude, chicks and beards, bro.
Right,
They love
they
them. I don't
dig it,
fucking
yeah.
get it. Hey, man, come back to us, the fucking
Right.
clean shaven, the 90s look.
One day I'll be that guy.
The 90s look.
No, I think it's the beard. It sells it. It sells it always, bro.
Yeah, watch when he shaves it off though. He goes from a
Yeah,
he goes from a 10 to like a 6. It's insane. I told him he had to grow that shit out if he was gonna fucking work here. I was like, hey dog, I know I'm not paying you and you're doing this because you love me. But you got to grow that beard back if you're going to be a part of the fucking TBAP crew. All right. Dude, speaking of Dallas, bro. Have you been to Dallas?
I'm going in July again, but yes, I've been there.
Dude, it's fucking just the downtown, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Have you drove through Dallas now? It's insane, bro. The
Yeah.
highways are like fucking, Jesus Christ. You could have 6 cars on those fucking things, dude. It's wild. 6 lanes.
Yes, it's crazy. I mean, traffic is crazy.
Everything's
people are
big.
driving like they don't.
But I was
give a crap.
I'm wondering though again, if I'm just driving through downtown in Dallas and going, well, they say everything's made big in Texas, so everything looks big as fuck. Like I don't know if it was my brain, bro. Like, do you feel like everything was big, bro?
Their infrastructure.
It's
For sure.
huge. It's huge, ain't it?
Yeah,
The highways are fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. I mean, you
And
see
do-
with the Buc-ee's, and
and
we're
then-
getting one too.
And then once you start getting towards Galveston, bro, it's like Mexico.
Yeah.
It's weird, bro.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
Mexican restaurant,
Yeah.
Mexican store,
Yeah.
fucking everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
Everywhere. There's fucking nightclubs and shit. And
Yeah.
man,
Yeah, you'll see.
Dallas is crazy,
It changes
bro.
like that
Yeah,
too.
dude. And then you go further north, and it's kind of like fucking sticks, and yeah, just Texas
Fuck
is
yeah.
wild, bro. It's just so big.
Yeah, for sure.
Galveston was cool. I don't know,
I
man.
haven't been there.
we went on a cruise, and the cruise was all right. It was cool, but I don't know, downtown Galveston or whatever they call that area. It's like kind of got like a Louisiana theme.
Oh, okay.
So it's like these weird narrow storeways, but I mean the stores are cool, like some of them, but a lot of it was like tourist stuff, a bunch of junk to buy while you're there.
Right, exactly. Trying to get people to
buy like those weird, you know, you buy like a stuffed animal for $20 when that thing costs like $3, but it says Galveston on it.
Like, oh shit, need it.
Gotta get that for my fucking nephew or grandbaby or whatever they're saying.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It was cool though. You ever been on a cruise?
No, I have not. I think that's one of the boxes I want to check next. Yeah.
Go on one. It
Cruise.
was cool. Yeah. It was weird, bro. I was in the middle of the fucking ocean and it's black. Just all black.
I've seen those videos. That's scary.
The only reason I can see the hand in front of my face because they have fucking lights on the balconies. But you look out into the abyss and it's just like there's nothing, bro.
Yeah.
It's freaky. And then you just see waves. And then there was at one point there was another cruise like way down.
And
like,
you see just like light.
You can
over
see,
there?
well, yeah, they're all lit up like
yeah.
from the outside.
Yeah.
So you could just see the light in the shape of a ship. It was fucking
insane.
wild, bro.
I went on a yacht here in Cabo, but that was a yacht.
Yeah.
Not a cruise ship. That seems cool. I mean, those things are huge.
Fuck yeah. And like it's okay being in the Gulf of fucking whatever we call it now, Gulf of America now. But like the fucking imagine being out in the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
International fucking waters, dog. Nah. I'm good, dude. Titanic.
I went to Bermuda.
Oh, really?
Did you really?
Yeah, on a cruise.
How was that?
Same. I mean,
Scared? Did you have a balcony or were you one of those weirdos that had no balcony?
No balcony? Want to feel safe.
Actually, hold on. I take that back. If you can't afford it, you're not a weirdo. But if you can afford it and are cheap like Dom, you're a weirdo. Okay.
Give me 2 seconds. I do got to pee.
No, you're good. Let's take a break, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm at Lawson at fuck, I'll flip the shit on. You recording? Damo? Yeah. What are you writing down? What happened?
The start time.
Can you see the 3 hairs in my forehead that I couldn't pick out with the eye plucker? They fucking, I seen them in the mirror. I was like, fuck. You ever have those little bitty fucking hairs and you can't get them
bro,
out?
it's like shit.
Bro, I was like bleeding yesterday. I was like, fuck.
Trying to get them off.
Yeah, I was trying to get the bitches out, dude.
No, it happens.
Oh, man. Don, we recording? All right,
we're live.
Yeah, bro. It's fucking wild. Oh, we were just talking about Los.
Yeah.
I don't know where the fuck we left off. I do this every time, bro. I take a break.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, you take a break, but I much needed it as well, as you heard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like fucking. We take a break and then I forget. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna go back to this, but
like,
we never do.
We always lose the train of thought.
We never do.
Me being cheap, but you can
well, we keep rolling. You sure you don't want me to go back to that?
We go back on.
But yeah, no, we were talking about Los, man. Carlos Medeiros, man. He's a fucking man, good guy, dude. I met him at a fucking First Friday.
Really?
But it was under the bridge. The lowriders, they used to have a lowrider show right there.
They still do, yeah.
And so I had the same bike I have now, and I had rode down there, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna go down there and see what's up because I haven't seen a lowrider show in a minute.
Right.
And I think that was when they were kicking it back up because it was like 2018, I want to say. And so I pulled up, and then this dude comes down. He has a street glide too. It's like maroon, and I just seen him pull in, and when he seen me though. And he will attest to this. His eyes lit up. And he was like, man, that's a cool ass dude. I'm going to go fucking talk to him. Kind of the same thing Dom said when he first seen me in, what was it, 7th grade, Dom?
Yeah. Purple jersey and some glasses.
There you go.
I had a purple jersey on?
Guy.
Man, I didn't have no purple jersey on, bro. What the fuck? No, I did not, bro. I did not. Oh, yeah, Wildcats. Yeah. Fuck, I did have a purple jersey on.
Memory, though.
Hey,
that is a
right.
memory. Hey, thank you for bringing that up. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to wear our jerseys on game day or game weekend. Yeah, damn, that's wild, dude. Hey, man, that's nostalgic as fuck. I appreciate that. But yeah, so I rolled up. He seen me. He was like, man, that guy's going to be my best friend. And he came up and he talked to me.
Yeah.
And we talking and shit.
Shoot the shit, yeah.
Yeah, and he ended up, we were in a club he was in a club at the time. He invited me out there and to one of their meetings. And then, fuck, man, I was rolling with him for like 3 years, I think, or somewhere around there. And then we ended up all getting out, me, AD, and Los, and we've been friends pretty much ever since. I met all of them in the club.
Wow,
so,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I still talk to them to this day. They're good people.
No,
so.
very good people, good family. I mean, I met him when I was interning at a concrete job.
Oh, really?
And he would come in there and he would like talk to the owner.
Yeah.
And he was like this cool young kid that I was like, I need to get to know because he's young. Yeah,
he's not too much older than you.
He's 20, I think 25.
Yeah,
25. So to me, I was like, this guy's doing it and he's young. Yeah. I was like, let me talk to him. He probably didn't want to talk to me, but I'm gonna talk to him.
If you ask him how old he is in Guatemala, he says 27.
Yeah, no,
I'm like, motherfucker, which one are you? Which one are you?
He said 20 like that.
Because you don't look 25.
Yeah, no, I tell him that all the time.
You're the biggest Guatemalan I've ever seen in my life, bro. You're bigger than every Mexican dude I've ever seen. You're bigger than me, and I'm at a decent height. Like he's got to be at least 6 feet tall, dude. I don't know, he's like 6 foot, 6'1".
No, yeah, he's a big dude.
Big dude.
And so I approached him and I was like, hey man, like what do you do for work? Because he had this truck. But again, super humble dude. He's like real estate. And I joked with him and I was like, dude, I want to get into real estate. I was like, he goes, yeah, reach out anytime.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the worst thing he could have done because I did reach out and I did ask him, help me with my first purchase. He was my realtor. And then from there I went and joined the brokerage he was at. And ever since, I mean, he is in his own brokerage now. He started his own brokerage, which is dope. Yeah. And then I went on to another brokerage, but we're close.
Dude,
we're always hanging out.
Man.
So he's been good people to me.
Yeah, that's really good, man. Yeah, he's a good dude, man, and so well put together. Like he's not perfect, but he's just no one is. But he's put together for a 25-year-old man. Like how many fucking 25-year-olds got beautiful house, beautiful family,
right?
Fucking cars and works his ass off.
Oh,
dude.
For sure.
I mean, damn, dude, try to having that guy on the phone for 5 minutes. He's always like, hey, I got to take this. Let me call you right back real quick. I'm like, I always wonder, I'm like, man, bro, I was in construction for a while. Is that I don't want to talk to you right now, so I'm about to hang up the phone, or you actually got a call on the other line? So.
It's a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Because I do it all the time. I'm like, hey, I got a call.
It's sometimes you got to, bro. Yeah. Sometimes.
You just got to cut it short.
Yeah, some of those people, bro, or you have Dom. Dom just when he leaves here, he just throws his phone out the window on the way home and then just somehow magically finds it next Wednesday. I tried texting this guy, and he leaves his read receipts on, bro.
Oh, no.
Do you do that shit?
No, I turn them off.
I turn that shit off. He's an asshole. So he'll leave the read receipt on. So he'll look at your message. Yeah. And he won't respond. Yeah. But he wants you to know that he viewed it at 11:18 a.m. Yeah. He wants you to know that. Bastard.
He's intentional with it. He's laughing. He's laughing.
I'm telling the fucking truth, Dom.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tell him the story. Oh, if I get these messages and I look at them and then I tell myself I'm going to reply and I forget.
Yeah.
But apparently you remembered I was wearing a purple jersey in high school
for
the Wildcats.
Nostalgic things. Those things. You knew that was going to be a core memory, right?
I don't know. I don't remember fucking barely anything in high school, unfortunately. I worked with a dude that still to this day I work with him. And he's like, yeah, bro, we went to high school. And I was like, I don't remember you at all, bro.
That happens a lot, though. Like I'll have somebody in.
It wasn't nothing against him, bro. The only dude I remember is him.
It's not personal.
He wouldn't leave me alone. Yeah,
because damn, that was another jab. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, I tell people I'm sorry, man. Like he's like, yeah, bro, you did this. I'm like, yeah, bro, nice seeing you again, I guess. And like they're like, yeah, I know your name. I was like, I have no idea where I met you, where you're from, or anything. But that's
just
bad,
you meet a lot of people.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I've been in a lot of different trades, and even in construction, you might meet 20 people in one day. You know what I mean? And I was only in construction for fucking 4 years or some shit.
Yeah,
a very small amount of time, and like you get older, you just meet a lot of people. You can't remember names and faces, and that, and everybody looks older too. Like you think they look older now. Watch when you hit my age, bro. And there's like motherfuckers are like, damn,
that's you.
That's fucking John. What the fuck happened to John, bro? Or whoever, you know what I mean? Like you just
went through some shit.
You're like, that dude looks like a dad. I don't feel like I look like a dad, bro. Young, you know, like I'm trying to keep it together, bro. Because I let it go for a little bit, and I had to fucking rope that shit back in and get it together, get my life together. But like some of these guys, I'm like,
what happened?
Cargo shorts and a fucking polo on, bro. And they look like somebody's dad, bro. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Which, hey, man, if that's the life you want to live, go for it.
Yeah,
but
dad life.
It's just wild because I'm like, I remember you when you were
this
16. Way. Yeah, this way, a fucking dumbass. And now you're like, a whole dad.
Yeah,
and like you got a whole family and shit, actual career.
Yeah.
Bro, some of these people, have you ever looked up some of these people in high school and you're like, they're working where?
Yeah. Oh no, for
what
sure.
the fuck?
Dude, all the time. Cause like I remember that there was like certain kids I was like, that guy's going pro. That dude's he's gonna be the top of his whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not even doing nothing. And I feel bad, but it's also like you put yourself in that spot. Like,
dude, some people,
but then some are like, bam.
Yeah, some I'm like, how the hell did that dude get that position? He was a dumbass. And like it gives me hope though for myself. I'm like, man, I don't have it worked out right now, but I'm trying.
Right.
And if so and so is doing this,
then I definitely can.
I got a fucking chance, bro. And I'm gonna fucking keep that. I'm gonna hold on to that fucking close, man. Yeah. Hey, let's get into some of your real estate stuff, man. I'm kind of curious because you said like with the youth right now having issues in the economy. What are the age ranges you're seeing right now? A lot of your sales. I mean, are there younger people buying real estate, or is it mostly just older? Or
no, they are. So my thing is, I work with a lot of investors, flippers, and new construction.
Okay,
that I would like to say now that's my niche. But being my age and the amount of properties I was able to get myself, that's also attracted the young guys wanting to do things. So to answer your question, yes, there is young people, but they're also like trying to get creative with it because they see social media saying like, you need to invest in properties, blah, blah, what are you doing? And so like they listen to those
flipping
people.
them or renting them out. Yeah.
Right, because they already have the idea. Like always the first conversation is like, oh, I want to flip houses. I was like, well, flipping is if you have money. Do you have money? And they're like, well, no. It's like, okay, so then let's step back. We're going to do this. And so what I like to do is I coach them. There's a lot of realtors that are like, okay, go get your pre-approval and come back to me. And it's like, no, like, let's actually help people. We'll look at their credit. We'll look at their finances, everything. I like to tell people, I like to be nosy because I like to see if this is even right for you right now. And so I'll coach them. And so what we'll do is we'll literally look at their credit. We'll put them on a plan. I like to call them action plans, things that I've done for myself and for my clients, and just contact points, whether they're ready now or in 6 months or a year, and just make a strategy for them. Because my financial advisor did this for me.
Like a way for them to increase their credit?
Exactly.
Okay.
Increase or
like go get a proof for a credit card, start using it for small transactions,
Bingo.
Pay it off, build it. Yeah.
Bingo. Okay. That's what I do because that's how I was able to scale my stuff.
Right.
So that's I just do what I do. That's what I do. Literally just teach them what I did, right? This is what worked for me. This could work for you. Go at it, right? Right. And then eventually they're like, I'm ready to buy the home. But because they're wanting to invest, not because they're ready to settle down. That's going to be their forever home. Yeah. No, they're parking their money. So it's cool to see that people are thinking like that. But now it's like, there's so much info. Where do you start? And so if I could be that guy to be like, this is how I did it, do it this way.
Right. Yeah. You know what I get worried about, man, in the whole real estate? Like, one, I'm locked in this house. I mean, I'm not going to get a 3% anywhere I go right now.
Fair enough.
And, this house is worth double what I paid for it, which is insane to me. I mean, it's kind of, I guess, the nature of the market. I don't know. That's questions I'm probably going to ask you.
Yeah.
But it's like all these, like, there's no one building homes for like the true middle class that's disappearing, It's like all $700,000, $500,000 homes. I'm having to buy this old ass house from the 60s for double or triple the price.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder why they haven't, like, the whole construction field, like, hasn't thought, like, damn, if we start building $200,000 houses, or even if they could somehow build $100,000, like, I know it's probably not even possible.
I was about to say,
know what I mean? Yeah, I get that. But like $200,000 homes, something that's like, I can go buy a newer home that doesn't have all these fucking issues or falling apart and actually afford it without becoming house poor.
Yeah. It's interesting because I think most of these investors are forcing everyone to rent. So that's why they're building. I mean, you see apartment complexes.
That's where they're getting the most money. Yeah.
Exactly. Or what I always tell people too is like, you have to start somewhere. Like whether that house is 200 and it's okay and you could, home ownership, you see what pros and cons are. Yeah. That money that you're going to make year over year in appreciation and whatever money you put in will help you get to that 700, 500.
Yeah.
Because imagine, like you're saying, I would never move away from this home. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't either if I was at a 3 too. But your equity position, you could pull, let's say you needed 50 grand. You could buy a second house, rent that out. Imagine the equity position they'll bring in 5 years.
I've thought about that.
Bam, bam, bam.
Even
They're
renting out this one,
way.
like I don't really want to get there. It would make no sense for me to sell a house like this
I wouldn't sell it.
It's a perfect rental. And
I wouldn't sell it.
In the future, it's going to be. I mean, there's a rental up the street. I think there's a second rental. I mean, this block has become sadly rentals? It's going to become rentals.
Yeah,
and
it's just being creative about it.
Yeah,
too.
And nothing against people who rent, but let's be real here. A lot of people who rent don't take care of their home.
That's true.
There's a lot of slumlords that don't
true.
take care of their properties. So that's definitely an issue that needs to be discussed more. And people need to be held accountable for that. I mean, the rental house up the street from me, I mean, the grass is always fucking 7 feet tall. It makes no sense. Yeah, it's like, but I also don't like HOAs. I don't like people telling people what to do. Like, I don't blame people that want to live in them, but, it's just like me. Like I said before, I'm kind of libertarian. So any type of organization is telling me you can and can't do. I am, though, understanding.
Of course.
I'm not just like set in my ways. I do understand that it is nice, like if Barbara wants to paint her fucking house pink, that she can't and not ruin that entire neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like, but then again, I'm like, let Barbara paint her fucking house pink if she wants. It's her fucking house. It's like, I like that there's areas that you can move to that benefit what you believe in. You know what I mean? But like, so going back to that, it's just, I don't know, man. I probably plan to rent this out and move later on. But, like I said, I don't know of these little tricks of the trade where you can take, I've looked at some like, home equity line of credits and stuff like that. I've seen stuff like that. But yeah, there's so much information behind it. It's nice to know a guy like you that can help explain all that.
There's a lot. There was a good friend of mine that I met maybe about 3 years ago. I could say maybe a mentor. He just passed away here in January. Big State Farm agent, huge in the community, Hispanic community specifically, Henry. And he came up to me and goes, Jonathan, I have 6 properties in Topeka, some here in KCK. He goes, I'm coming to you because you're in the game now. My family told me, buy it cash, do this, rent, blah, blah, blah. But now it's hard. He goes, so I need your creative approach on how to get into properties. And we're about to start working stuff out, and then we just put it on pause. But it was cool to see how he was thinking that way. I just had another real estate investor guy. We were actually, there's a deal going on right now, actually. And he was like, hey, I want to make an offer. Great, cool. He goes, I asked him, how many deals have you done? He goes, oh, no, I own like 8 rentals. I was like, oh, cool. He's like, yeah, an Airbnb 2 near the plaza. I was like, you own them outright? He goes, yeah. He goes, but I'm having like cash problems. Like I have cash, but I want more cash. I'm like, dude. I was like, you have so much equity in these homes that you don't have to pull all of it. I'd pull like 20%.
Out of each home.
Out of each home. The rent is going to pay that 20%. Let's say it's $800. You're renting the home for $1,000. That $800 you're going to pay for 30 years. But do you think you're going to have a vacant home in 30 years? And even if you do, you just sell it. You'll pay whatever difference.
Right.
You'll still make money.
Yeah.
And so when he thought about it like that, he goes, Jonathan, he goes, when can I get an appointment with you? I need you to meet my brother. Yeah. And I was like, he was like, whenever. He was like, how much you charge? And I looked behind me and shit, and I was like, charge? I was like, dude, I feel like this is my job as a real estate agent. I mean, I want your business. He goes, most realtors put me a huge stop. They're like, you know what? I don't do that. Just let me know when you have the money and you want to do it, and we'll start looking.
All they care about is selling or buying the home.
Exactly. Yeah. So to me, it's like that education piece to where like open your mind, get creative, and see where the opportunities roll.
Yeah, I always appreciate a good real estate agent. I've had a couple, Wes being one of them, and then I had another guy that was my parents' real estate agent forever. I want to say his name's Mike Abbott. I think it is. Or that might be somebody else's name. I have no idea. But we'll roll with that. But he was a really good real estate agent. I remember when I bought my first home. This was back in like 2013 when you can get a home for, I think I paid $100,000 for that home. It was built in like the 90s. Oh. So it was like fairly almost new.
Yeah.
And it was like 1,700 sure feet, bro.
Oh,
big as fuck.
Like huge.
Yeah, in the Liberty School District too.
Oh shit, it's a good area.
Yeah, I know. And I think that house is like $400,000 now, but I should have held on to it. But yeah, dude, it's like I appreciate those real estate agents that go in there and they look at everything, the possibilities. Like, hey, you can move into this, and this would be a great rental later on, you know, hey, I think you got some mold issues or something
Right.
going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're seeing because they're walking in houses
Yeah.
all day long. You
We
guys
see
are
it.
seeing shit like that, or
Mhm.
you guys, I mean, that's your field, so maybe it's stuff that you study up on to
Right.
make you stand out from other real estate
Exactly.
agents. And I think little things like that sell because I think about that all the time. Like if I go with a new real estate agent, is he going to actually look out for me, or is he just
Or-
going to be like, hey man, I got a list of houses that he probably got from
Mhm.
what his Remax, you know,
Yeah.
they spit it out to him. You know, he didn't even really look,
He doesn't
you know,
understand it.
yeah. And he just gives them to you and goes, hey, let me know. This is kind of what you're looking at, I think. Let me know. Yeah. And then they're just waiting, which I get, bro. Like
It's a learning curve, but
you guys, your time is money. I get that. You know what I mean? Like you got some people that drag you fucking around to every 30 fucking houses, and you're like, are you
Yes.
gonna fucking buy one?
all
You know,
the
I
time.
get that. You know,
Yeah.
and granted, I understand their side because they're making a huge
Huge
life
purchase, yeah.
decision.
It's
But
both.
there's a balance,
Yeah.
you know, and
Back to that,
so I get that. But it's just nice to see when a person will help you above just selling the home.
I think to me, it's like the long-term value of that relationship. Imagine he liked the way I mean, he just met me.
Right.
And he's like, dude, I want to already sit down with you, meet my brother, and I want to pay you.
Yeah. I
And
feel
so
like
to
that
me-
guy right now too. I'm about to fucking talk to you after. Dom's probably got some questions over there.
Right,
too.
there you go. Yeah. And so like to me, that's important, right? The
Mhm.
referrals are going to come from that. And I don't even think it's that. It's just willing to help.
Right.
Like, you know, there was a guy that said, if you're a 3 and there's 2s around you, teach them so they can become a
Yeah.
3. Because you got your 4s, you know, teaching you stuff.
I don't meet too many people like that,
Mm.
man. I know we all like to think that we're charitable, and I'm gonna take it that you are. I mean, I only met you today, but we're gonna say you are.
Yeah.
You seem like a good guy.
Thank you.
But there's a guy named like Mitchell Thompson. He wrote that book right there that I do suggest everyone
This one?
read.
Healthy?
Yeah, Healthy Made Easy.
Huh.
He's the same way, man. Like, you know, first person to tell you he's not perfect. First person to help you though. Like, you know, like just such a good dude, man.
Mhm.
And I've seen him, and Dom knows him well. He goes to his gym.
Oh, okay.
But like he told me the same thing when I first met him. I mean, he reached out to me out of nowhere, just like, hey man, I love your stuff. I want to get on. Kind of same situation as us.
Yep.
And it's like, damn man, I appreciate. Yeah, come on. Same thing I told you. You
Right.
know, like I want to talk to people who want to talk.
Yeah.
And he told me the same thing. He's just like, man, he's like, I try to do what I can, and I know that I'll be taken care of. Like he's not worried about it right now. He just knows that if he helps, like it feels good for him to do. And at the end, I feel this way. The universe takes care of you back,
Yes,
you
sir.
know? And maybe I'm wrong on that, but
I agree.
you know, like I like to think that it pays full circle.
It really
Like,
does.
may not right now, but like me and you talking right now, you might sell a home from me a year from now.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was like, man, that dude I interviewed, man, he was a cool dude, man. Let me hit him up.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're helping me out by coming onto my show. You know, that's not really relatively big. I think you'll be like, I don't even know what, 70 something.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, it's
good.
not
You're
bad.
doing
It's
very
not
well.
bad,
Yeah.
you know, but still, like you could be looking at other platforms.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that. And, you know, the appreciation goes the same way. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just kind of cool how it comes full circle.
Yeah, it's like paying it forward. You know,
especially when
just
you don't
make it-
expect it. Like you're not wanting it or
That's-
expecting
exactly.
it, you know?
Because it's like everything I always tell people falls from the sky sometimes, just super random. The
Right.
opportunities, like, but I feel like I mean I'm a believer in God, I'm Catholic
Mm-hmm.
background, but faith. But to me, it's like you always also get put in your place too.
Yeah.
Like you could win real big, but then it's like there's always something to come, like just keep you on your toes always.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. So I feel like I have to earn things. Nothing is
Mhm.
given to me. I've earned it, right? Just like I've earned an opportunity to come on here,
Yeah.
earn different, you know, opportunities to go somewhere or learn from somebody. And so that's the same thing I want to do. Like always just earn people's trust and respect and business.
Well, don't get too excited about coming onto this show. This show, I might have a crackhead sitting where you're at next week,
That's
dog.
cool, bro. That's cool.
Or 3 weeks
He
from
earned it.
now.
He
Yeah.
earned it.
Yeah, maybe he did. He did enough fucking coke that he's on the show now. He did
There
a bunch
you go.
of bunch of rock. But nah, dude, I appreciate that though.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't know, man. It's just I like that, man.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your background in religion and God, has that helped you kind of navigate life a little easier?
I think, yes.
Yeah.
At first, I was very like, nah.
Yeah.
I'll be real.
Yeah.
Like, nah. I was like, there's no way.
I'm same. I've floated in and out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know it. And it's like one of those like, no, I don't think it's needed. But I think at the end of the day, it keeps you like, there's a bigger lesson, right?
Yeah.
You know, I've lost lots of money. I've made lots of money.
Mm-hmm.
There's opportunities come and go. But I think I always reflect, maybe that wasn't for me. Right. I got that no for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen it because I've also seen it full circle. I got told no from someone 4 years ago, but now they're like, hey, man, I want to help you. Like, let's do business. And I need to meet this guy. Mm-hmm. I'm like, maybe I wasn't ready. So that's the way I like to see it. And I think God has keeping me that peace of mind.
That's what I try to do too as well, you know, because I haven't gone towards a what do you call it? A denomination, like a certain denomination. Right. But, you know, because my whole family's Catholic. My brothers, you know, they're Catholic. And, you know, I was baptized Catholic, you know, so that's kind of where I lean towards, you know. But I used to, I've gone back and forth, you know, atheist or just not giving a fuck to, you know, feeling more spiritual and religious, especially as I've gotten older. And I see why, you know what I mean? Like there's a point that you hit kind of in life where you're just like, dude, is this all this really is? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, is it really? And I used to make fun of old people when they do that shit. And they're like, oh yeah, he's getting older now. Now he's going to become religious. But like, I think there's a reason. You know what I mean? I think when you're young, you're kind of rebellious and you think we all think we know it all and all. And there's some don't. Some are good kids, but I don't know. Sometimes it takes getting a little older and going through some shit with life to really feel like, okay, like maybe there is something to this. Like maybe it's something that I can't necessarily break down and dissect and completely understand. But man, would it be nice just to let go and let God? You know what I mean?
Handle
like,
it.
fuck. Yeah. Like, let the weight off, man.
No,
you
for
know?
sure.
And have something to look up to. You know, I always say this all the time. Wes Graves told me on here. He says, if you don't look up to something higher than yourself, you'll worship the next best thing. And that'll be like money, drugs, women, men, sex. That. Yeah.
That's good.
Like, like things that we can, you know, we see higher that are obtainable. But that's the whole thing, is that God is, you can't touch it. It's more faith, you know, like you can't see it. You can't feel it. You can't, you know, and I get that now. Yeah. I get why you'd want that for individuals. And sometimes as human beings, man, I have these discussions with people and that gets so weird about religion, or we're deep into religion, then got out of religion, and they really hate religion, and people who are really, like, to me, it's like, if it betters you, who cares? Right. My kid believes in Santa Claus, my youngest, and that makes her happy and better. You know, like when she thinks that Christmas is coming around. Yeah. You know, she has something, you know, to believe in. Let me be a better kid. You know, does she always achieve that? No. But
right, that's another.
But somehow Santa Claus still shows up with her gifts. Right. Maybe I need to drop coal in her
she'll learn
stocking one year, dude, just to scare her. Yeah, just to scare her. But so yeah, man, I don't know, dude. I think whatever helps you, man, it makes you a better human being and live a life to where you're not harming others or, you know, just lost or depressed or whatever it is. If that's what keeps you from that, I think you should do that. Yeah. You know, who cares what other people think?
I think it's been giving, like just giving, man. I wish people, I mean, I lived a good childhood. That's good. You know, it wasn't like terrible, but I didn't have everything either.
Right.
So to me, it's like, if I could give somebody something and change their life and where they're going to go, even if it's like my 2 cents, like they probably didn't ask for it, want it, but it's just kind of like, hey, dude, I like you. Just hear me out for like 2 seconds. Do what you want with that.
There was
make an impact.
Yeah, there was a on that podcast that I told you I listened to. That was your first one, right?
Which one?
The Interrupt KC.
Interrupt KC. Yeah.
It was good. And what I was actually, sometimes when I don't meet the individual, I saw it through the Instagram. So I'm like, I wonder who this person is. And some don't have videos that I can go and listen to them talk or anything. So I'm always curious. But when I turned that on and I listened to you, and I'm like, oh, okay, man. Like, this guy's, you know, kind of been through some shit for being, you know, young. You know what I mean? Like, and you had that uncle.
Yeah, Raul.
Dude, that dude. He said some shit when I was listening to it. I should have wrote it down. I told myself I should have wrote it down.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, but I don't remember exactly, but the context was like the same thing we're discussing right now. The treating the people how they should be treated.
Yeah.
But do you remember what he said, what you said in that podcast?
The biggest thing he always told me is like, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. He gives this advice to anybody. So listen more than you need to speak. Like, hear people out first, right?
Right.
And he'd always say, you got to help the other guy too. Like, always, even they may not need it, but just be out there looking out. But mainly that other thing was,
I think that's fucking powerful, man. And I need to be better like that. You know what I mean? Because I'm not perfect. I have my moments where I could be a little more helpful, a little more kind and caring. But like when I see people like that, man, it really helps me check myself and go, damn, I want to be like that guy, you know? Yeah. Because you can't put a dollar on like caring, you know, and helping.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can't. Like, they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They're not expecting anything in return. Yeah. Which that's kind of how I live life, you know. If I do something for somebody, I don't expect anything back, you know. It just came from you. I also can tell if you're abusing it, so I will stop. Yeah, it's not like I'm that caring. There has to be a limit, you know. I'm
glad you mentioned that, because that's one thing I like to tell people too. Like, I've also been like, you know, super naive, and a lot of people won't talk about the stuff of like, oh, they live their perfect lives, they never messed up. Yeah. No, I've helped people that shouldn't have deserved it, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like you grow from that, though. It builds you, and even though you've been like betrayed, that still doesn't mean I'm willing to give. It just, there's certain things they got to earn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But there was a guy.
Oh, so you don't exile them completely.
Yeah.
It's unless it's like bad, but like give them a second chance.
I will. I give them the benefit of the doubt.
But right, because you've had second chances, just like I have, just like anybody else has. Yeah.
I always tell people this, like, you know, I would still shake their hand. They could have done me very dirty, but I will be the bigger person. Yeah. Always. Always. I won't be a fool. Like, if they say something to me, you know, I'm a person like today. I confronted somebody at a meeting. Mm-hmm. You know, I had a question about them. I was like, hey, man, I'm going to get a little personal. Yeah. It's like, I need to ask you something just because you've been stepping on some toes, and I need to make sure. Mm-hmm. And he was shocked. He didn't expect that from me. But I'm like, hey, I'm not going to let myself get, you know, taken advantage of. I'm not going to be a dick, but I'll make sure, like, when it comes to something, like, hey, I'm going to be real. Yeah. And I expect that from everybody. Like, you know, just let's be real. At the end of the day, nope, it's not personal. And so I always tell people, I'm going to be the bigger person. I'll shake your hand. Cool. Awesome. We're on our separate ways.
Which is weird because communication is getting odd. Oh, like, my God. You notice people are kind of awkward socially, man? Yeah. And I get it, you know, like it is like, if you don't talk to very many people on the daily, it's weird. You know, like even me, like I had periods in my life where I was kind of socially awkward. But like it's like working out. Once you start doing it more often, then it becomes like you get better at it a little bit. You know, you're like, I hope I am. Yeah, let me know. But like it's you get better. I feel repetitions, but like a lot of people now, it's like they want their food dropped off in front of their door without the dude even opening it and shit. And like or they don't want to go to order because and I've been guilty of that too. But some people take it a little extreme. I'm wondering, is that, but is the younger generation like that too? Or is that just me assuming that you guys are like that?
It is. Cause like I have people that are like, oh, I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't even want to say hi.
But there's people like yourself, right? At 21, like being able to do what you're going up to somebody and being able to have a discussion with them.
I think it comes from like a need, man. Because I don't think it's like, I mean, I've met, you know, I lived in Belton. There was a lot of rich kids there that they do well now, but because of a lot of things that were, you know, they just knew they were, you know, locked in. But then there's those that built it because they needed to build it, right? Because they had no choice. You know, you're already at the bottom. There was no more like going lower than that. Right. So I think it's just who you really meet and talk to. But yeah, no, I'll run into people that are like, they'll hold a conversation. They're willing to go to the store and do different things and not just like be behind a screen, you know, the screen warriors and do certain things.
Oh, dude, I can't do the messaging shit, man. Like if anybody sees my shit and how short it is, it's because I'm not a good like writer. I don't write, and if it's lengthy, it's ChatGPT. I'm going to be 100% honest. It's ChatGPT. There you go. Yes. It's ChatGPT helping me out, and I'm heavily editing it.
Yeah, there you go.
To make it sound like me. Yeah. All right. I can't sit there, bro, and type shit out for a fucking minute. Like,
are you a phone call guy or
call me, dude? Yeah. Okay, same. Just hit me up. Like light texting, cool. You know what I mean? Like I don't mind, but if you're sending me a fucking chapter, which I've been guilty, I've done it too, but damn, that took me a while to write up.
A lot of brainstorming.
How many times you got to proofread that shit so you didn't put
Sounds like
something in there? Yeah. Or you put a fucking word in there that you're like, I did not even put that in there. What the fuck? But yeah, I don't know. I'd rather just conversate. And just the beauty of it, man. I mean, look, we're having a good time. Fucking 2 hours probably has flown by. And, we're just sitting here talking. And there's something that happens in that,
But it's crazy to say that because then there's people that won't pick up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've hired different staff for my company. We've tried to see fits.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that won't want to dial. And we're not selling anything like, hey, we're
like
VIVE.
Cold calls,
no, we're not doing that. Just like, hey man, if they have a question and they call you, pick it up and answer it.
Yeah.
They're like, no, why didn't you just text me? It's like, what the hell? But again,
they're the same people that tell their job that they're applying for to text their phone number for fucking updates on their resume. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird, strange times. But I have good feeling, man. I met you, so you're another 21-year-old. My brother's 21. He just graduated from UCM.
Oh shit, cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I went down there one time, dude. Warrensburg's kind of a weird town. It's like real small.
I haven't been there.
Yeah, it's cool though.
Yeah,
it's just small. It's just like a huge campus in a small town. But what else you got coming up, man? You got anything else you want to?
No, I mean,
talked about real estate. Got your business. Oh yeah, a little more on real estate though. Actually, we kind of went over that. How's the market doing right now?
It's I'm gonna say what every realtor say.
You want to be honest.
You said be honest.
I don't want the commercial. I want the fucking real shit.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think real estate. It's where you allow your mind to be because
you're dancing with me. You're dancing with me, brother.
I have a cousin, of course. I'm saying a lot of nothing with something. I have a cousin. She's right now buying her house in Florida, and shout out Jenny. She was like, hey, but with like the interest rate and everything, I'm going to be paying for my house twice. Like, I'm buying for $400. Once I'm done with the loan, it's like $850.
Yeah.
And so now they're kind of like, I don't know if I want to do that. I'm like, you got to just open up your mind. I don't think you want to live there 30 years.
Right.
Think about the opportunity and equity position you'll have, just like yourself. I mean, you said that this thing went up like double or whatever it went, right? What you can do with that later. So to answer the question, real estate is doing okay. Interest rates are not as high as they were. They're still historically low, but what we're seeing is not enough homes are being built. We're still behind. Supply is low, and demand is still more than the supply.
Very high.
Yeah,
that's why I don't understand. I know we've had a shortage on labor. I know that.
Yeah.
And that's with what we're discussing. It's like, is it the youth or is it the trades that are not making it appealing for people to join? Which one is it? Because one side will blame the youth. One side will blame, or really no one's really discussing trades. Probably only me, maybe other people, very small amount. It's like, what are you doing not making it appealing enough to where these kids want to sign up at 18, Because if you talk to a lot of them, it's a lot of like late 20s, early 30s guys applying at these positions. Yeah. That's just the hearsay. Yeah. It's not, I fact checked that, but that is what I hear.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. And you think that to fill the void, then start making houses that are cheaper to build. Yeah. And actually, you might find some contractors that have enough that they can pull a line of credit to build these houses, and then we can sell them to people who can actually afford and not be house poor.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's the biggest thing that sucks, bro. It's that $450,000 house and you're $500,000 house and you're like, you got a nice house, but you can't go out to eat or only once a week.
I always tell people, what life do you want to live? Just because you qualify for it, don't mean you buy it. I always tell them, for me, go buy it. I want that fat check.
Yeah.
But I also care about you.
That's nice.
So I don't want you to think that. So I'm like, let's actually look at this.
Yeah.
And it's always like, let's look at it. They look at it and they see the mortgage payment. Yeah, actually, I do like this.
That's cool, man. I'm telling you, dude. I'm glad you're like that, bro, because that shit's going to pay off for you. Instead of you having to worry about because you burned a bunch of people trying to get your 3% on the sale or however much. What's it nowadays? 4%?
We have to negotiate now.
Negotiate
it's not fixed no more.
It used to be fixed, yeah.
No, it's not. We had a huge lawsuit.
Oh, really?
Saying that we're fixing commissions. That, like, for example, let's say you were wanting to sell this and you were only wanting to pay someone 2%. We wouldn't go show it because it was 2%. That to me that meant nothing. I came in.
Why
the industry,
not? If they don't want to do it for 2%, why can't they not do it for 2%? Why can they not go find a customer who would do it for 3%?
Well, because they maybe not have enough money. There's not a lot of equity.
That's not your problem.
Exactly. Because I remember when I would still do. So I came in the industry weird right before that.
Yeah.
Even when they were asking for 2%, 2.5%, shit, I'd put in the offer. I want 3%.
Oh.
And then they were like, "We're only paying 2%." I know, but I want 3%.
Yeah, and if you don't want it, you can go find someone who will do it for 2%.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with that.
So to me, that was never a problem. But you
Mm-hmm.
had the realtors all freak out. It was like, holy hell, like at the MLS area in Leawood, they were all freaking out. All these realtors that have been in the industry. What are we going to do? I was like, we'll just put it in the price. To me, it was just made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Investors work that way. An investor, if I find them a home and I got the deal and everything, they're like, Jonathan, well, here's your finder's fee. You get $3,000.
Yeah.
And I did like almost nothing, just be the eyes and ears of the community to get that house.
Mm-hmm.
They value that. That's exactly what's happening over here. But we negotiate now.
Yeah.
So it could be 2.5. I mean, the most I've been paid on a retail deal, like, retail has been like 4.5.
Really?
Because my offer was so strong. They were wanting to pay 3, but I was like, my offer's strong. I know what my clients got. I was like, so if you want this, educate your seller to pay me 4.5 or he could wait.
That's wild.
But I only do that if I feel like there's an opportunity.
Right.
I'm not trying to, go get, make some crazy money, but I know again what value I'm providing for my people.
Oh yeah, because it's always the seller that's paying the.
Well, see, that just changed.
Uh-huh.
So the seller would pay both sides. That's why there was a huge lawsuit.
Right.
Because they're like, how am I compensating the person that's going against me?
I always wondered that too, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I always wondered that too. I always thought it was a weird deal.
It was legit.
Yeah.
But so now what they're saying is we have to negotiate in the deal.
Oh, okay.
So we'll request in our contracts, we're going to bring this offer and we want to get paid $7,000. They could either say, I want to pay 5 only, and it'll get paid 5. But yeah, no, you get a lot of that.
That's cool.
Yeah,
well,
real estate's changed.
Yeah, no, I guess I bought this house in 2016, so
okay,
it's been a while.
No,
almost 10 years.
I have definitely gotten in the industry at the wrong time. Interest rates went up. It's fucking. I mean, it seems like everything went to hell, but I think that's built me to be in the game so long.
Maybe look at it like, especially if you're already facing all the shit you're facing now, hopping in it when you did. You might as well think outside the box and maybe throw a curveball at that shit and just try something different, bro. You know what I mean? Like, even I'm telling you, I'm discussing these homes for people that can actually afford them. I don't understand why that can't be a thing. Like, that's got to be a thing.
I have builders that are trying to do stuff like that.
It's got to be, bro.
They're trying to like lower their costs. You have nonprofits that are doing that. Mm-hmm. They'll eat up some of the costs because they're donors.
Yeah.
So they're trying, but it's hard. It's a real hard thing. Everything's going up. I mean, it.
Yeah. I mean, that, and I think companies, I'd like to see how much the percentages of the owners are making on some of these GCs, because I heard like 8%, I think, is what you should be around, but I know a lot of these small companies are getting like 40.
Well, if it's a GC, it's anywhere, because I used to be in this concrete company.
Well, I guess a GC, I guess
8 to 10, maybe 15 is like high.
I guess subcontractors will.
Subcontractors
they make a lot more.
Yes,
I know that.
30 to maybe 40%. But then there's some that are just really want to get good with the GC, and they're at 20.
This is why shit's costing more, though. And I'm never one to tell an owner how much to make, but I'm just saying, hey, these fucking companies are raking it in, dude, and it's costing you. I mean, dude, it's insane.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's why I need to get on next, dude. It's like a builder to ask these fucking questions, bro. Because I really want to know. It's like, does it really cost that much to make that fucking house? Yeah. Or is like, how much is in profit on this entire project? You know?
I mean, it's a lot of money.
But
I've seen it.
Hey, like I said, I'm a believer in the free market, so charge what you want. If there's people that are going to buy it, it just sucks when you're cornered into that's the only option.
Yeah, exactly. Rent.
Why is that? Yeah. Why is that? Why can't we have another option?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's a little hard, and I think at the end of the day, people get greedy.
Like, where are these companies that are like, dude? If I started a company, bro, and I'm sure people are going to roll their eyes, but I'm like, I don't need to have a fucking yacht and mansion and all that. I would like to, yeah, but I think I'd be good if I could just buy maybe a little bit bigger house than this, and I never look at prices on a menu. Again, doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? Like that's rich to me.
Yeah.
You know, where you're not worrying about bills.
You're taken care of.
You can go on vacations a couple times a year, you know, like shit like that.
I like that.
I don't know. Maybe they say money changes you, so.
Yeah, I've seen it change a lot of people.
I'm bullshitting.
No.
You think I would lose it, Don? You think?
I don't know. Hey, once you start making more money.
You think I'd hookers and cocaine?
Right.
Like Victor?
Wolf of Wall Street type shit.
Nah. Okay, I'm good. I'm just asking, bro, because you're truthful, you know?
Yeah.
You'll tell me how it is. Money does change people, though. That's what's
crazy.
shitty, but.
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, I appreciate you being honest with us, man.
Yes, sir.
And I know, I don't know, man. Hopefully the market does better.
Yeah, I think
for
it
you
will.
too. You know, you seem like a good dude, so
it's not going to
tank. I hope
tank.
it picks up for you.
It's not going to go this way. I'll tell people that.
Yeah.
But no, we're in a good spot, and I always tell people like, get on it early, do your research, education.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think financial education is so important.
Oh yeah,
because it ties into real estate, stocks, you know, all this crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So real estate's one avenue, but there's so many different avenues. So I think just being financially literate is like the important part.
Are they teaching that in school?
No, bro.
No. Yeah, because you were there not so long.
Rich Dad Poor Dad was the book that like.
Yeah, a lot of people keep telling me to read that. I need to read that.
Rich Dad Poor. It's this is what it says.
Uh-huh.
Rich Dad in mentality, Poor Dad in mentality. One told you go to school, save your pennies. The other one was like, invest in people and learn to invest in things. Make your money work for you. And so to me, I think I lived that life. That's why I related so much. Because I had my family that had their little businesses and whatnot. They did well, great, cool.
Right.
But then there was those that they told me to save the money. But then there was that one guy that had some things going for him, but he wasn't moving his money. And I saw it, and I saw the differences. And I was like, ooh. So to me, I felt like I related to that book. That book just kind of was like the stepping stone to like, oh my God, there's so much shit out there.
Yeah.
So I read a lot of books.
Yeah.
So I probably read that too.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
Yeah.
All those books are good up there. Meditations, The People Code, that one's a good one.
Oh, I've heard of The People Code.
Yeah, there's a couple.
I think people need to read. I feel like people just don't want to read.
The 4 Agreements, that's a good one. That's kind of falls under the list with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, from what I heard.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's like a list of books that like people were reading at a certain year. When did all that? I think that all got popular like 3 years ago.
You think?
Yeah, it was something like that.
I mean, there's always been like these influencers.
No, but like those specific books, those motivational books. Like there was like a year where they all came out, and everybody was like,
I think that book's like 20 years old. But yeah, there was like a hot spot. Like,
yeah. And it was recent. It wasn't that long ago. Because podcasting is what really, I think, sent out like all these books, all these ideas. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. Yes, do you have anything else coming up?
No, I mean, that's really it. I have my podcast.
Oh yeah. When does that come out?
Dude, man, I'm learning from you guys now. So my podcast was supposed to come out in May, but my director's cameras were all stolen.
Oh shit.
So I was going to pay him. We're going to do great. Cool. Well, that ended that. So right now I want to buy 2 cameras at least. That way we could get 2 angles. I don't want to do just one.
Right.
So once I get those, it's launching. I already have guests, politicians here locally, business owners, nonprofits. So I'm teeing all this stuff up, but his camera's got fucking stuff.
That sucks, dude. Yeah, camera equipment's fucking expensive.
Right. That's a huge out of pocket. Like, I mean, this guy, he's smart. I mean, he knows how to do all the video editing and whatnot.
Keep an eye on YouTube. Somebody got a whole podcast studio.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Somebody's making videos, bro.
But that was coming out.
And or check the fucking flea market, bro. You'd be surprised what you find there.
Yeah.
You know the 63rd flea market?
Yeah, dude, I used to go there all the time.
Yeah, bro.
As a kid.
Every time I go there and I see the construction tools, I'm like, all of those are stolen, bro. All of them. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
Where'd he get all those fucking tools? And he's just selling them there, bro. Motherfuckers got names. They got names engraved on them and shit, bro. Fucking stole Peter's fucking DeWalt set.
Shit.
That's fucked up, man.
I never thought about that.
Oh, shit.
No, that's crazy. Yeah, that might be happening,
dude,
actually.
That shit sucks, bro.
No, that's unfortunate.
But hit Saturday. When did it get stolen?
So we filmed in March, right before my trip to Mexico.
Yeah.
It's gone for 3 weeks in April. He was opening up his own little
Never
deal.
mind. They're gone.
They're gone. Yeah, no, they're gone. Yeah, they're gone. They're already sold. Someone else is using them.
Somebody's taking family photos with them.
Yeah.
Damn, bro, that sucks.
Damn it.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to. So, what's going to be kind of your thing?
It's
like
going to be
a more business type podcast.
No, so same kind of feel.
Mhm.
I kind of little inspiration off of you.
No,
I want it to be just conversation.
Yeah.
I want people to understand, look, yeah, he may be a politician or business owner that looks good on Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever, but he's also human, man.
Yeah.
Like we all have families. We all shoot the shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, if you find some of those, let me know.
No, for
because
sure.
those are going to be very few.
No,
I'm
yeah.
sure.
So I'm excited for that. It brings them down to real world. So like my younger generation can connect with them. I want to be the bridge, man, the connector of the older generation to the younger.
That's good.
Generation.
We need that. Yeah.
Because I feel like, I mean, I hang around with like a bunch of 40-year-olds all day, bro.
Yeah.
My closest friends are like 40, 30s. I don't have friends my age.
Hold on. But before you, okay. Damn. I feel like I'm fucking talking to myself. I was the same way, bro. I was the same. All my friends were always older. Not that much older.
Yeah.
You're kind of setting the bar real high. But they were like always like, I don't know, 6, 7 years older, sometimes 10. But I do regret not hanging around my age group too, because I just completely didn't really hang out with too many people around my age.
Well, don't get me wrong. Like
so I would recommend still keep in touch.
Well, like I said, I'll go to the club.
Right.
I'll go to the bar. I mean, I'm drinking, dancing with people left and right. I like to have a good time. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I
you
love
look like
dancing.
a PBR guy. You have PBR?
My friends on Friday nights, they have a section. So yes, I've been to PBR.
I fucking knew it. Hey, I fucking knew it.
Lotus. Have you heard of Lotus?
Yeah, yeah.
Lotus. I mean, I go to all those different places.
Lotus is down in Westport. Yeah.
But yes, PBR.
Yeah, my brother Julian's always down there at Lotus. He was just there last weekend.
I have a section for my birthday. So
is that where Dragonfly used to, or what was that?
I have no idea.
What was it called when we were? Wildflower? Dragonfly? Oh, that was a ghetto ass fucking.
What was the other one? Ale House? Is that a
Ale
bar
House?
or something?
Yeah, Ale
My
House
aunt,
is down
I think
there.
she's your age, and she always told me, you need to go to that place. They closed it.
Yeah, Ale House is cool. I think Ale House, isn't that the one with the three floors? Oh, they closed it?
Yeah.
What? Damn, man, that place used to be popping. It used to have like a basement, a main floor, and then a roof.
Is that like what, like John's Big Deck is? Is there no?
Yeah, John's Big Deck is cool. I don't know. There's always fucking shit.
You said stay away from that place?
Yeah, bro.
Why is that?
Dude, there's always shootings and fights and shit.
I think it's, I mean,
all
they say the same thing about Westport, though.
Ghetto motherfucker.
No, just John's Big Deck? All right. I've been there once.
Hey, I'm cool with John's. It's fun, but it gets a little wild. You remember that video that one year when they were shooting outside that place?
Oh, my God.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah,
he knows. He's always at these places.
Hey, you're still.
We need to change your life, bro. We need to change your life, dude.
He's like, clarification. Nah, but like I always tell people, I'll hang out with people my age. I'll keep it short and sweet because everyone's looking forward to Friday. Yeah. So am I. Shit, I'm tired. But that's not my life. My life is, I think I want to be things to be part of my life, not make it my life drinking every Friday.
Oh, for sure. It ain't worth it, man.
Yeah. So I hang out with, it's that sweet medium again, the balance. I hang out with 40-year-olds, shoot the shit, business.
Yeah.
Just where we want to be, grow from each other.
Mentors.
Exactly.
That's what I need to find, a fucking mentor.
There
man.
you go.
I keep hearing this shit all the time.
Yeah, mentor.
Find a mentor.
I have 5.
You have 5?
At different areas of life. Circle of excellence.
Dom, you got a mentor?
Yeah.
No?
Nah.
You probably got a mentor. You look like you got a mentor.
You gotta have. I tell people.
I gotta
5.
find one. Any mentors out there? Not the weird ones. All right, not the weird ones. Hit me up, bro. I don't want some creepy dude going, "I'll be your mentor." Like that. Oh shit.
No, yeah, but I think it's important.
Hey, Jonathan, I appreciate it, man. Where can they find you at?
Yes,
Instagram, all those places.
Instagram, my first and last name, Jonathan Pitallo. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. One message away. Don't hesitate to reach out. I'm not as scary as most people think.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.